Hi everyone, Tony from Hack the Movies here, and today we're going to talk about all 4 of Christopher McQuarrie's Mission Impossible films, and we're going to find out which one is the best Mission Impossible film directed by Christopher McQuarrie. Today on Hack the Movies. Angela.
Hi.
Or late last year.
Yeah.
I messaged you saying, I messaged you with a mission saying, do you want to do
I choose to accept it.
Do you want to do commentary tracks for Mission Impossible? And you're like, sure. And then I messaged you with another mission. Do you want to do more? And then also, do you want to review all the sequels before the new movie comes out? And you accepted that mission.
I did.
Thank you. And yeah, we've done the mission. We've watched all. I mean, I had already seen them except for the newest one, obviously. We finally made it to these 4 wonderful films.
Woo!
Christopher McQuarrie. I forgot what he did before this.
That doesn't even matter.
Doesn't matter. I've been filming a lot of episodes, Angela. I'm very tired. I think you can hear my voice is going. I might have stayed up late the last 2 nights with Riley and Vince Sallet. Some vomiting might have happened from 2 out of the 3 of us. Not me. And I was just like, sure, I'll go to the movies with Angela and talk about 4 movies at once.
This is important, and that's why we're here.
This is how I'm spending my Memorial Day. We're shooting this on Memorial Day. I woke up to Vince Sallet and Riley dying and me with a headache. And then I hung out with my nieces, and then I went to see Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt one last time.
Just trust him.
One last time. And now we're gonna review it. It's rough. Yeah, Christopher McQuarrie, he did Rogue Nation. We mentioned that he did some rewrites on Ghost Protocol, which I have since found the IMAX poster. I have since found it after we did the goddamn episode. Yeah, and at the time, I was just like, cool, another director. I like that they were doing different directors for each one.
Yeah. They
have since shifted from that, obviously.
A singular vision.
Yes. So I saw it in 2015. Because obviously, you know, you have to see the new Mission Impossible movie.
Well, yeah. That was number 5,
yes.
right? Okay.
Yes. Everyone says you got to see the new one, except for you, who just didn't see any of them.
I was still stuck on the TV show, making my way through.
You're like, justice for Jim Phelps.
Yes.
I'll never forgive them for ruining Jim Phelps. Jim Phelps was the Last Jedi Luke Skywalker of his day, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is when they got a lot of publicity showing off the Burj Khalifa tower stunt.
Yes.
And going forward, they do it for all the movies. So leading up to this, we saw so much footage of him on the side of that plane.
Yes.
That was like the big one. But yeah, I went to the theater, saw it, had a good time. And let's read the back of the box here. Now, I don't own the boxes, and I've mentioned that in case this is your first episode of us talking about this. I only own the first 3 on DVD. Mm-hmm. I don't own a Blu-ray box set because I kept saying to myself, I'm going to wait until he's finally done, and then I'll buy a box set. Because I don't want to get a whole box set, and then I have to buy an extra Blu-ray.
Now, is it safe, do you think, to buy that Blu-ray box set yet? Or
We'll get there. We'll get there. Let's wait till we get there. Let's just say I'm not feeling as confident as I did yesterday when I was like, oh, I'm going to finally be able to get like a 4K box set of all of them and it's going to be great.
But just like the pain in your eyes.
It really was. It's really me going, how much longer do I have to wait? Okay, here's the back of Rogue Nation.
All right.
Tom Cruise is at the top of his game. In the film, critics are calling the best mission ever. Ethan Hunt, Cruise, and his IMF team embark on their most dangerous mission yet to track down a terrifying... Wait. Oops! I did the wrong one. Okay.
Sorry, that's why these aren't live like our commentary tracks.
You know, I feel like Benji in the one Mission Impossible, I think it was Fallout, where he got the screen wrong.
Oh, yeah, and he's like, oh.
Yeah, I had a Benji moment.
That's all.
I had a Benji moment. Okay. back of the box. Load it with jaw-dropping stunts. Prepare for the best action movie of the year. Yeah, I guess like... Wait, no, this came out the same year as Mad Max. No. With their elite organization shut down by the CIA, Agent Ethan Hunt, Tom Cruise, and his team, Jeremy Renner, Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames, must race against time to stop the Syndicate, a deadly network of rogue operatives turned traitors. To stop this global threat, Ethan must join forces with an elusive, disavowed agent, Rebecca Ferguson, whose loyalty is suspect as he faces his most impossible mission ever. What did you think of this one?
I enjoyed that Alec Baldwin comes in and he's like, you guys are off the rails. We got to shut this down. And I was like, finally, someone in the government saying that, because
it only took, 60-something years?
Yeah. They always are they're doing their own thing. And I guess that's part of the idea of the IMF is like, we'll disavow you. Like, nobody knows what you're doing.
We're not supposed to have oversight, so we can get away with a lot of the stuff we're doing.
Plausible deniability. But it gets really extreme. And like Ethan Hunt takes that to the extreme.
Yes.
And I like that they were finally getting called out for it.
Yes. It was fun to see like the other government organizations getting involved with it. It was funny because this is not too long after, year-wise, it was like 5 years after, but like it doesn't seem like it's that much longer after Ghost Protocol. Yeah. Because they're still talking about the events of it, how they covered it up and everything.
Yes.
But I love at this point, they still don't have a new secretary because Tom Wilkinson died. Yeah, he got shot in the head. So I love the whole time Jeremy Renner's like, I can't answer any of these questions without the secretary. Like, well, there is no secretary. He's like, yeah, it's a hell of a thing.
What a shame.
Yeah, so that's fun. They're in like a funny position because they have to like limit how many cool things they can get for the mission. They always want to like take things away from him. Like I think only 2 and 3 are the only ones where he's actually not disavowed. He becomes disavowed in 3.
Yes.
But like way later on, but he's still like part of that whole team and stuff. We never see those headquarters ever again.
No, they're gone.
I thought we were going to see more of those. We never see Larry Fishburne ever again.
Oh, yes. Oh, I said
that to Vince Alley. I called him Larry Fishburne or Riley, and he was just like, what? I'm like, no, that actually used to be his name. He used to go by Larry Fishburne.
And then he was like, wait, this isn't cool.
I need Lawrence.
Lawrence is a much stronger name to go by.
Yeah, so this is a fun one because, again, the last movie teased a syndicate thing. So we learned there is this network of people who are taking over everything.
And I like that because, again, going back to the show, like the syndicate was just kind of like this nebulous. This was like part of their like nondescript bad guys in the TV show, right?
Yeah.
Like they always worked with like made up countries. Like they're like, you could tell this country was supposed to be in Latin America because they all spoke really bad Spanish, right? But they never used real country names, so they always had like the syndicate in the TV show. So now they kind of brought that.
Yeah, I'm guessing this is not related to that syndicate. It's obviously based on that syndicate,
yes.
But much like in the universe of this film, they're also rebooting ideas.
Right, yeah.
Much like how in the real world rebooted Mission Impossible, they're like, I got an idea for a syndicate. Like, didn't we try that? We're doing it again.
We're doing a new one, guys.
We're doing a new one. We're going to do it a little different. And the syndicate is played by, or the head of the syndicate is the guy named Lane. Forget the actor's name, but I will always know him as the creepy tunnel-dwelling monster in Creep. Ooh. There was a movie called Creep. Now, not the found footage movies that are very popular right now.
Okay, then which one?
Yeah, there's Creep and then Creep 2 and Creep Tapes. This is a different Creep. Okay. It's like a 2004 movie. I think the girl from the first Bourne movie is in it. It's very creepy. And this dude, the guy who plays the bad guy, we joked in our commentary that he's very mousy looking. He plays like this Morlock thing that's been living in the sewer for years, and he's going around killing people. It's actually a fun British horror film. Ooh. George Clooney is the reason for everything. This girl really wants to go to a party. She hears George Clooney's ad, and she takes a shortcut through the subway system, and suddenly you got a mutant man trying to kill you.
Wow.
That's how much women love George Clooney. They will risk going through subways with mutant men.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
So I liked him as the bad guy. Because what is it like? The bad guys have been kind of like not weak, but like there's no charismatic bad guy really.
No,
Jim Phelps was a mystery for most of the movie.
Yes.
Okay, the guy in 2 was pretty charismatic actually.
That was his whole thing. He's like, I will seduce people and become evil.
Yeah. Okay. That guy was. Yeah. You know what? That guy gets a pass. But 3, I guess Philip Seymour Hoffman was really, really good. And then there was like the secret bad guy. But then 4, I like that actor. He's in the first John Wick. That bad guy's in the first John Wick. You might have missed that when you skipped to John Wick 2.
I was promised I could follow it fine if I just skipped right over that first one.
You should have shot me a text, and I would have went absolutely not.
I did. I needed.
There are
some
movies you could do that with a Mission Impossible. Maybe not the later ones. Not John Wick. You kind of need to know a little bit when you go into John Wick 2. Like, wait, what?
Very confusing.
What's the coins? And who are these people cleaning everything? Why are the cops never involved? Anyway.
That's a different review.
So yeah, Lane was pretty cool as a bad guy. And he's very hateable because like he gets the drop on Ethan, which is fun.
Yes. This I feel like is when we start seeing like Ethan's not like end all be all like.
Yeah. This one not want to say grounds him.
No.
But they show him being the most vulnerable.
Yes, we start getting to see like he's not impenetrable. He's not like
which they have been getting better at after we talked about in 2 he had God mode enabled. He put he put in the code for God mode and just murdered everyone.
Just like picks up like I'm gonna just fight on a motorcycle. It's fine.
Yeah, and I think after that they're like, all right, that's kind of takes the fun out of it when he can just do anything.
I mean, exactly. You need a little bit of like you need those obstacles or else like there isn't a movie.
Yeah, and they do that really well in here. And one of them is, so later in the movie, there is a mission where they have to, so there's the big stunt and then like the big like mission heist thing. Yes. Sometimes they're the same thing in the movie, but they're like the big stunt, the big popular stunt, I think there's 2, is the plane, obviously.
Yes.
And the motorcycle chase.
Yes.
But before the motorcycle chase is the heist into the server room that's underwater. So the syndicate needs a ledger that's owned. It's very complicated. Watch our commentary track. The syndicate needs a ledger that's owned by the head of MIF or MI6.
Yes.
MI6. Sorry,
yes.
IMF, MI6. It's very confusing.
Lots of letters happening.
They need to get a secret ledger that's owned by them. So basically the syndicate wants access to all these offshore accounts that MI6 has set up because the head of MI6 is secretly a bad guy who started the syndicate without asking permission. He asked permission. They said no, and now
he's like, well, too bad. I'm going to.
Now he wants to cover his tracks, but the bad guy is just like, I'm going to need all that money you have so I can do all my crimes.
Yeah, that's how he was going to fund the syndicate, right?
Yes,
so they needed to steal that money out of.
But they have to go underwater to change the security thing so Benji can walk in and not get zapped right away. It's very complicated. But that is the big ice, and that is pretty tense. It'll still...
Yeah.
So initially when I first saw this, I was a little let down because 4 was so good. Yeah. And this movie's good. This movie's good. But like the Burj Khalifa Tower is so tense.
I mean, that is so intense. It's really hard to beat that.
Yeah, and it's still tense when he's like underwater and he's losing air. Because that's the thing, like he's got limited things down there. He has limited time. It's very hard down there. And then eventually Rebecca Ferguson has to save him. But it's cool because afterwards there's a big chase and his brain they have to bring him back to life and his brain isn't totally working yet.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So again, awesome, cool. Ethan Hunt does everything cool. This one he slides across the car and falls. And then he's like driving wrong and they're like, oh my God, we're all going to die.
It's good. Which is just great. It is like that slow reboot of like a computer. Is his brain just like very like slowly rebooting of like, didn't fully process how to, the driver sequence isn't in there yet.
Yeah, but it's a very, very fun chase because that adds like the extra like element to it. It weakens him a little bit.
Yeah.
The motorcycle chase is awesome.
That's fun.
And fucking Rebecca Ferguson. This is the first time I like noticed her in anything.
And you're like,
I was like, that's one of the most gorgeous women I've ever seen in my entire life. Those legs are amazing. I hope in all other movies they show them off constantly, and they do actually. Yeah, this is the first time I had exposure to her. I mean, I don't know what she was in before this that I would have seen. I didn't.
Can't
This
remember.
might shock you. I did not see the Rock Hercules movie. Apparently, she's in that.
Oh.
I did not see that one.
I have a friend who's currently going through all the Hercules movies. So,
All of them.
yeah, like started with like Hercules in New York and is just going right through.
That's not even the first one.
Well,
that's
okay.
80s.
Well,
do you know how many Italians were making Hercules movies in like the 50s and the 40s?
Well, okay, they started with that one. I don't know. They're not going in order, but that inspired them to go watch all of them.
Well, they
I
really
think
they really started at the bottom there. I wonder which version they watch, because I think there's a version where he is dubbed and another one where he's not dubbed.
Oh, I'll have to ask. I just
Yeah.
know this is their new mission, is to try and find all the Hercules movies
There's a
that
lot
like
of her. I
aren't the
probably
ones
have-
you watch normally.
Hercules Unchained. I have it over there on one of those like shitty DVD sets.
All right.
People loved Hercules movies. There's a
I
whole
mean, why
lot of
not?
them.
He's so strong and cool.
I think Lou Ferrigno's in one. He fights a bear.
See?
And he fought a bear in The Incredible Hulk. He really liked fighting
Loves
bears.
Fighting bears.
How do we get to Hercules? Hold on, wait, hold on.
Reset. It's
We were talking about Mission Impossible. I forget how we got to Hercules, but anyway. Rebecca Ferguson.
Yes.
Right. She is Ilsa Faust. Her character is undercover with the Syndicate, and she has to like prove her loyalty to MI6.
Yeah.
Not realizing she's being like manipulated by the head of MI6. Her character is great.
Yeah, she's fun.
She is great because we know now that Ethan can't be with the love of his life.
Nope.
We learned that from the last movie. He's like secretly got her a new identity and everything.
She's not dead, but like they can't be together.
They can't be together. But like the only one he could be with in this line of work is someone who's in this line of work, really. That's technically the only one that would have the best chance.
Right, because, like you can't just, otherwise it's built on lies.
Yeah. And if you tell the truth, then they're at risk and everything.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm sure he tried with Thandie Newton, but I think she just likes stealing a little too much. He should have tried with Maggie Q. Where's Maggie Q? She disappeared after 3.
Oh, yeah.
They all disappear after 2.
And they're not really brought up very much.
She's a great addition to the series. Yeah. She really won me over with this. The Syndicate is fun. The action is fun. Benji's great. He's getting better in these.
Yeah, he is.
You could tell that at this point they were like, what do we do with Jeremy Renner?
Yeah, because he doesn't get much to do in this movie. He's just like hanging out with Alec Baldwin the whole time.
And Luther. That's the one thing they came up with. They're like, well, Luther wasn't in the last one. What if
Yeah.
he's Luther's buddy?
You just had to get the 4x4, didn't you? Don't blame me. You chose
You
this
just
car.
had to have it.
And I think Jeremy Renner wanted something more than Luther's buddy in this series. Because we talked about it in 4. I think they were trying to like make him the next guy for the series.
Yeah.
Well, they tried it with the Bourne Legacy. Didn't work. Notice how they brought Matt Damon back afterwards, which I still have not seen. The Bourne movies are good. I don't know why. But the 3's good. 3's enough.
Okay.
Just watch the first 3.
Great.
I don't know. I'll watch the 4th one and let you know if I'm wrong. I'll be like, Angela, it's actually the most amazing one. Here, they didn't really know what to do with him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still fine that he was in there, and I love that Luther's doing shit.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Is this when we first learned that like Luther's really good at like disabling bombs?
That's the next one.
Oh, okay.
That's
That's
the
not
next
this one.
one. I mean,
Okay,
I
I
think
jumped
it's
ahead.
implied he's good at disabling bombs. But yeah,
it
no,
like, becomes his thing later.
that
on.
becomes his thing. The cool thing with Ethan is like he was beaten in the beginning. Like he couldn't
Yes.
save that girl. They knocked him out. They tied him up. Your brain almost turned off when you saw how he escaped in the beginning of the movie when he's tied
Oh
to
my
the pole.
God! And he's
He's
just like
picking up his core strength.
so. It was like the opposite. Like it was like from Mulan,
Yeah.
but like backwards. He's like
Backwards.
Mulan wasn't hard enough. I'm a man.
I'm gonna make a man out of Mulan. Ah!
Oh man, what a
So
yeah,
his
that
whole
was
time,
exciting.
his whole thing, he's like, I need to get back at Lane
Yes.
because Lane is the evil version of me, kind of, maybe. He really is kind of the evil version. He will
Yeah.
kill. He will like just let his team die. He doesn't give a shit.
Nah,
for
they're
some
not a
reason,
family.
Lane keeps trusting Ilsa, even though she's clearly a double agent.
He's just like enamored, like he's mesmerized by her.
Yeah.
I feel like he just really wants, like maybe this time she will be my girlfriend.
He's giving her too many chances.
Yeah.
Simping was his downfall.
Yes.
Simping was his downfall. But yeah, it's exciting, and I love the ending where he gets like Benji in the bomb vest.
Oh yes, yeah, I do like the.
So it's not like this big shoot 'em up sort of like crazy ending, really. We get that all throughout the movie, but I like that it's like this whole thing where they're just gambling with like information to get Benji out of it.
And then it's much more tense instead of like action.
Yes, and I love the setup where he's just like, I'm gonna put you in a box, and then he literally puts the bad guy
and he like drops him into a box.
And I love the reveal that like MI6 was behind it, and the Prime Minister of the Prime Minister of England like didn't know, and he's really pissed about it.
Right? He was like, they like set it all up, so he gets like a confession, and then that's when Alec Baldwin and the CIA is like, I guess we like the IMF now.
Alec Baldwin, who's sometimes in the scene, and then we noticed was very obviously green screened.
Yeah, I don't know if they had to do pickups or what.
It had to be pickups
right?
and his schedule.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they threw Alec Baldwin pretty late into the series as a minor character. Like, I'm okay.
And then he like doesn't really come back. Is he in the next?
Oh yeah, he's in the next
that's
one.
Right.
Yeah,
he is in the next one.
But yeah, so it's actually cool that they like capture the bad guy at the end because they
do.
killed all the other bad guys.
Right, they capture him, and I think kind of like the idea was he's got all this information about all the other rogue.
Yeah, because all the rogue agents that are part of the syndicate are like agents from other intelligence
like from
stuff
around the world
who have faked their death.
Yes, so
because
you
he's
don't
like
know.
because Ethan. I love in the beginning. Ethan is like being hunted because he's gone rogue. Of course, he's gone rogue, and he's sending them information. They're not taking him seriously.
Yeah.
Like Benji has to teach himself how to trick the lie detector.
Oh yes, yeah.
Because he's actually helping Ethan. But yeah, it's a very fun movie. Ilsa's a great addition, and it ends with Alec Baldwin becoming the secretary.
He does, yeah. He gets
of
to
the
be in
IMF.
charge.
I really, really enjoyed it. Again, for me, it felt like a step down from 4, but
Yeah.
still a really good movie.
It's still a lot of fun. I liked it.
Yes. But then after that, they announced Fallout, and they said Christopher McQuarrie is coming back, and I'm like, am I gonna like that? Because I thought Rogue Nation was good.
Yeah.
But it was just like, man, the movies felt like they were getting better and better. And then I got one that was good, not the best. And I'm like, I don't know if I want this guy to come back. But yeah, they gave a Mission Impossible Fallout. Can you read the back there?
Absolutely.
Make sure it's the right one. Do you see the name Henry? Yeah, that's the right one.
Some missions are not a choice. On a dangerous assignment to recover stolen plutonium, Ethan Hunt, aka Tom Cruise, chooses to save his team over completing the mission, allowing nuclear weapons to fall into the hands of a deadly network of highly skilled operatives intent on destroying civilization. Now, with the world at risk, Ethan and his IMF team, Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames, and Rebecca Ferguson, are forced to become reluctant partners with a hard-hitting CIA agent, Henry Cavill, as they race against time to stop the nuclear fallout. There's never been a threat more destructive or stunts more jaw-dropping than in this film that critics are calling the best mission yet.
But I thought the previous one was his most impossible mission.
This one is less impossible, but it is the best. So,
so then I went and saw the movie. Now, the fun part about the movie, the behind the scenes fun part about the movie is that Warner Brothers screwed up their Justice League movie. And then because of tragedy happening with Zack Snyder, they couldn't really get him to finish it because what happened with his family. So they got Joss Whedon to save the day. Honestly, I felt like he had a Mission Impossible. If you see the Snyder cut, which I don't advise, that's not the movie we would have gotten. But if you saw where he was going, and the studio's like, you need to fix this, make it 2 hours exactly.
Yep.
You have to get he wanted this to be 2 movies. I need you to change all that and make it 2 hours exactly. And one of the funny things that happened was they were like, Henry, you got to come back and do Superman reshoots. And he went, well, I got this mustache. And then Warner Brothers went, hey, Paramount, I know you need him. And if this is true, I remember reading this. They apparently went, hey, if you shave him, we will pay to digitally put a mustache and beard on him. And they did test footage to show them that they could do it. And Paramount went, ha! No!
No.
So instead, because of this movie, Henry Cavill had to do freaking Superman pickup shots with the mustache, and they had to smooth and erase it.
Like CGI lip gate of that. Like, I was not even anywhere in the realm of paying attention to Superman.
Yeah.
And I knew about this happening. Like, it was everywhere.
It was like one of the it was like the biggest middle finger Paramount. Like, now they were like, seems like a you problem. We're on schedule with our movie. We're doing everything right. Your movie was supposed to be done.
Sorry. Wish we could help.
Good luck. Hopefully COVID happens and you just put out a different version of the movie. So that was the fun behind the scenes stuff. But here's the thing. I like Henry Cavill. People think I hate Henry Cavill, but I don't. I really like him.
Okay, but
his Superman movies are terrible. And that's not his fault, Angela. It's not his fault.
Not only do I mention this in our commentary track, but then you also added that as like the trailer for the commentary track.
I thought that was good.
Is me talking about how I really just want to see Henry Cavill like dirtied up. Like, I don't like him.
Oh, whatever. The one before that, it was the clip of me saying, I'm never going to wake up to a wet Rebecca Ferguson. All right. Okay. Don't act like I'm singling you out. But anyway.
You know, yeah. And so he's too, I don't like him in the look, his Superman look. No, thank you.
What about this? I mean, he's wearing a suit, but he's sweaty and he's a little grizzled.
It's better. This is definitely better. I still want more. I want like real, like Geralt, like The Witcher, like blood and guts on his face.
Are you excited for his replacement? Is it Chris Hemsworth's younger brother?
Yeah, I gave up on when I was like, oh,
Angela, turns out he gave up too.
Well, yeah, when he gave up, I was like, no, we're not doing. He's pretty good in this.
Yes. So the story of this one, it turns out Rogue Nation was a part 1.
I was reading. This is like considered the sequel to Rogue Nation, which is like
they
funny
didn't label it as a 2-parter.
Yeah.
Skipping to the next movie, that probably was smart that they didn't label it as a 2-parter. But yeah, it's definitely 2 missions, but one definitely is like the sequel to the other.
Yes.
It fills this little arc here. Sometimes there are like duologies and trilogies within films. The one I talk about is like the Star Trek movies, right?
Yes.
2, 3, and 4 are a trilogy because they're about like Spock. They lead into each other and then they have a conclusion, even though the first one's not a part of it. It's like a little trilogy within the series. And then Friday the 13th. There's the Tommy Jarvis trilogy, which is 4, 5, and 6, because they all center around his character. So yeah, these two are very, very connected. I like that Lane is back. They're shipping him around the world.
Yes. Like, get his secrets, or like, no, to like
everyone's interrogating him.
Yeah.
Everyone's interrogating him. But we learned that the Syndicate is still there. They didn't get all the funding they wanted, but they are still growing. Lane had a second in command called John Lark, who we never met, who is still running the thing. He's like writing about, he has the same idea as the bad guy in 4. He wants to cause like huge suffering so that the world can come together under their leadership.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Syndicate.
Real classic bad guy stuff, you know?
Yeah. So the Syndicate still going. Alec Baldwin's still the secretary there. And Ethan feels like something bad's going to happen. This one feels personal to him. And it starts off with the dream where he thinks he's like at a wedding with his wife.
Oh yeah.
And then Lane is there and then they get hit with a nuke. And the beginning of the movie is such a good misdirect because he's negotiating like the exchange of plutonium and it gets stolen because he was saving Luthor.
Because he saves Luthor, and we have to remember this for when we get to the newest movie.
Yes. So he feels like he is responsible for like everything that's happened because he always feels responsible for everything.
But he like also is. Like
he kind of is.
Like
I
love Luthor.
Yeah.
I'm glad he was around for that whole movie.
Yeah.
But it's just like whatever happened to like we don't negotiate with terrorists.
Oh no, he's negotiating all the time.
He's like, don't kill people I love. And people are like, oh, we could get to you by that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's always.
But the beginning was so good when like they take him and then it cuts the news report and it's like all the holy sites got nuked.
Yes, and everything's exploding.
And it feels like real for a minute. You're like, oh shit. And at first I'm like, part of me is like, is this a fake out? I'm like, well, that would really motivate his character to want to kill everyone. And Wolf Blitzer's there. Reporting.
Yes, I know. I'm like, what was he just what's up here? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like things are going down. Like,
That was and so one of
that's
the
why you feel so.
one of the syndicate terrorists like thinks he's so happy. He's like, I'll only give you this information if you let them play my speech. So then they do. And then I love as soon as he gives them the information, they reveal that it's all fake.
They're like the walls of the hospital fall over.
Yeah.
They're like, you're in a soundstage. You got punked.
That psyched me out in the beginning. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, oh,
They got
thank
me.
God. I mean, that plutonium's still out there. That's bad. But thank
But
God.
like, all right, we got a little bit more time before everything explodes.
But yeah, so the CIA is not thrilled with IMF because, this is where we get
plutonium out in the
introduced to
world.
Angela Bassett as
Yes.
Erica something. But yeah, she tells them, like, you're like a bunch of people walking around in Halloween masks.
Yes.
Thought that was hilarious. But yeah, so she doesn't like IMF.
No.
She's not thrilled that Alec Baldwin's a part of it. So she kind of like takes over control of IMF, really. They kind of
have to like listen to her, and she puts Henry Cavill in
yes.
also kind of in charge.
Yeah, she Henry Cavill's there and they don't like each other. Henry Cavill's another one. He's like, I'm just shoot first, ask questions later. Because no one knows the identity of John Lark, and he's team Ethan is John Lark.
Right. He thinks that, and then he's also just like, we can just kill everyone, and then eventually we'll, by default, kill John Lark, and we just shoot everyone we meet. So that's kind of his motivation.
Yeah, and the big stunts for this one, one is the one where he's jumping over roofs, but that was accidental because he accidentally broke his leg in the one shot. But no, the big stunt was the skydiving scene.
Yes, the
halo
jump. And
high altitude,
you taught
low
me
open jump.
What that meant.
I explained it. I hope I got it right, or the comments are going to rip me apart. But yeah, so they have to jump out of a plane to go to this big arms deal thing in Paris.
Yes.
But it turns out there's a lightning storm. And Henry Cavill's like, I'm going. But this is a great moment in IMAX. I mean, we watched it on a monitor. But if you were to have seen it in IMAX, it's great when they open up the door of the plane and the bars of the screen get bigger and bigger. It was cool. Now, the problem with this, he jumps out of the plane, and it's a cameraman jumping out of the plane with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
But then they digitally replace the sky, and then he goes into a CGI sequence of the cloud. And it was just, why did they?
It just feels like.
I mean, it's cool that you shot it practically, but then
But you don't get to visually see.
You touched it up a little too much to the point where I'm like, well, what was the point of even doing it practically, other than to have a little promo video to promote that you did this?
I feel like in like the more recent Stranger Things seasons, I was getting annoyed. I was like, oh, the first season they like did all these practical effects, and I looked it up. I'm like, oh, a lot of these are practical. They just touch it up so much it looks CGI now, and that's like really what's the point of doing that?
We've talked about this on the show. Like sometimes having the practical effect will make it look better. One of the examples is like the last two Jurassic Worlds. There are practical effects that are touched with CGI and they look great.
Yeah, just like a little.
Yeah.
Just something just little to.
And then for whatever reason, sometimes they'll touch it up too much. Like I like the last Predator movie, Prey, was really good, but I think Disney, because they bought it they got it like when they bought Fox.
Yeah.
And I think they were like, we're putting this on Hulu. Don't put too much money into the effects. So they had a practical suit and they wanted to touch it up with CGI, and then it just made them look weird.
Yeah.
So there's sometimes you don't do that. But yeah, this would have been cool. But like I know you had to put a storm cloud, but like, I don't know. I feel like they touched it up too much. And again, if most of the sequence was going to be CGI anyway, why even shoot it? Why, other than to go, look what we did. Luckily, there's a stunt at the end where he's hanging off the helicopters, which is mostly in camera, which looks really, really good.
Yeah, and that's really fun because you can tell. I like that you can tell the shots of like they just strapped a camera to like tied it up to the helicopter, and with a super super wide lens to try and like film.
Although I think we noticed like in the IMAX shots with the camera, like when he's in the helicopter, it's the revert. Like we just see the back of his head. I'm like, I feel like that stuntman doesn't look quite like Tom Cruise. I know they're not showing his face.
But like I like that you're like, oh no, he's really on this helicopter because like this is a wide ass lens on, just like hanging on to dear life with him.
But yeah, they like almost die going to Paris.
Yeah.
He saves them. It leads them to so they're looking for who they think might be John Lark or works for John Lark. They have like a signal that they're looking for. It leads them to a bathroom where they want to impersonate him. And they get into a big fight in the bathroom. And you had no idea what I was talking about.
Didn't even know how great it was going to be.
He reloads his arms, and you didn't understand what I meant until we got to the part where Henry Cavill takes his jacket off and does this weird motion with the arms that looks like he's reloading.
He does it so quick, too. He's like...
That was like the meme. I was like, wait, did he just reload his arms? Which I guess it became so mean. I sent you the clip afterwards.
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine. There's one moment where they go to a universe where Henry Cavill is Wolverine. Was he rough enough for you in that one?
Yeah,
Did you you like the Wolverine? Okay. He's working on a motorcycle looking dirty.
Yeah, that's what I need. Like dirt under the fingernails, like.
But when they have him shoot his claws out, they made it look like the Mission Impossible thing where he's like charging his claws. The cavalry. Great fight scene. It brings Ilsa back into it. So she is back at MI6, but or MIF or MI5.
MI6.
MI6.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
I'm like, is MI6 real or is that James Bond? Is there an MI5?
I don't even know anymore.
We'll just say MI6. So she gets back into this. She's trying to prove herself because she was undercover with the syndicate for so long. They think she might not be fully loyal, so she's on this constant mission to prove her loyalty. So she is also looking for John Lark. And they have to meet with a new arms dealer. I forget the name of the character, but it's Max's daughter from the first movie.
Yes.
And I was just like, wow, Rebecca Ferguson, major babe. And they're like, oh, let's just throw Vanessa Kirby in the movie too. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm fine with this. She's taking over the family business.
She is. She's like, she's got her blonde hair.
Yeah.
She's like hanging out in clubs. She's like, I'm ready. I'm in charge.
I think we were joking in the commentary. I'm like, she's intimidatingly attractive. Like, she scares me. Like, she's very gorgeous, but she's very intense looking. Like, I know I now have to watch her be a superhero, and I'm like, I don't know, that lady looks like she's judging me. But no, she's really good in this as the new arms dealer. The big heist moment, the big mission. He has to get Lane. So they will only give him Ethan pretends to be John Lark because they broke the mask. And also that guy actually wasn't John Lark.
Yeah, like no one still knows who that is.
Yes.
So it's like, okay, well then why doesn't just Ethan be Ethan per usual?
Yeah. So she's like connecting like dealers with buyers and whatnot. So she's like, okay, so for the plutonium, you have to kidnap this guy, Lane. So he's like, oh, fuck, I hate that guy. That's my evil me. I hate him. So the whole mission is like, how do we get in there and get Lane, but without casualties? Because Ethan is like the good guy.
Yeah.
And I love like you see the scenario play out where he has to kill someone. He's just like, I can't do it. So he comes up with a mission in his head. They do the first half of the mission, and then he goes rogue inside.
Classic Ethan. No matter who he's working for, he's going off book. Like. And all of the bad guys who think he's with them are like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This wasn't the plan.
Yeah, he ends up getting Lane safely, gets rid of all the bad guys, ends up getting them killed because they shot a poor lady in France. They shot a lady cop, and he's like, no, my watch. I respect women.
I just love that, like, he's definitely killed a lot of people.
Those are bad guys.
Every person he's ever responsible for dying was a bad guy.
Well, they were working for bad guys.
I think that's
they didn't have to work for those terrorists, Angela.
I'm just saying, like, there is a cat, like, there is,
he didn't want to shoot the police officers.
There's definitely someone somewhere, like a janitor who accidentally gets shot in a crossfire. Like, he's killed somebody somewhere.
No, he's perfect at shooting. Don't you understand? He's perfect. He does twists sometimes.
Yeah, and those backflips.
Yes, he's very precise, okay? Why are you doubting Ethan Hunt? Are you John Lark? You're making me want to hate Ethan Hunt. Turns out, John Lark is Henry Cavill.
Dun, dun, dun.
Which I liked.
That was fun. That was a good reveal. That was okay, I get it.
This is the second spy thing he's been in. I know people wanted him to be James Bond for a bit. I think they have to go younger for Bond. You have to start younger with Bond, and then he can get older.
And is Bond
he can't get
supposed to be
Roger
that
Moore
buff?
older. That's sad. What was it? Sorry.
Is Bond supposed to be that buff? I thought he was more like smart,
Uh,
right? Like I thought he was like, I'm a
Eh,
smart
Bond's-
spy, not
Bond's
like an
usually in
action
shape.
pack.
Bond's usually in shape.
Yeah, but like like I feel like Henry Cavill's like more than in shape.
He could probably get lean. I don't know.
I was thinking like Daniel Craig or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
go like Sean Connery. Like he wasn't like
Sean Connery was 70s fit. Thank you
Yeah,
very much.
yeah,
all
but
right?
he wasn't,
That
you
was
know,
before steroids.
that's
all right.
true. It really
It is
was.
funny when you see like when suddenly bodybuilders entered the film
Yes,
thing.
right.
You're
And
like,
what?
when you watch old Hercules movies, you're
See?
like, oh yes, that's
He's
what
just like a-
that's what a normal human man should look like. And then steroids come along, and you're like, that is an abomination. It looks
Yeah, because
great.
Hercules is a demigod.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah, and it's funny when you watch a old Hercules movie now, and you're like, I've seen so many wrestlers that are in better shape. Not even good wrestlers. But yeah, so he was in this, and he was also
Yeah.
in the reboot of Man from U.N.C.L.E.,
Yes.
co-starred with Arnie Hammer.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, do you not know about Arnie Hammer?
No, I don't.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah. Is that he has like a... Yeah, I think he got like Me Too. It turns out he has like a cannibal fetish.
What?
But yeah, no, when he becomes the villain, he's really good.
Yeah, he is.
He's really good. So he's smart like Ethan, and he's
Yeah.
like physically awesome like Ethan.
Yeah, he's like got a real good like he can really keep up with Ethan.
Yeah. Although they do kind of trick him by putting Benji in the John Lark mask,
Oh,
which is funny because we
yes.
kept joking that John Lark looks like Benji a little bit.
Yes, that like yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Or no, not John Lark.
Oh yeah, Lane.
Lane. Yeah, we were like, yeah, they don't even need a mask for. They look so similar, and then they're like,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna make Benji Lane to give again for like that fake, not
Yeah.
fake confession, but like trick him into confessing.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention Lane is also the rock scientist who had a map of the entire spaceship in Prometheus and then got lost. I loved when we got to like the third act, and it turns out like they did the they had a disease breakout at this one area that connects the water of like India and China and whatnot.
Yes, yeah.
And then we realized they shipped all their nuclear stuff, the plutonium, to this area to irradiate all their water. And the reason they did the disease thing is to make sure that Ethan's wife, who they figured out who she was, would be there. So he had to witness her dying and him failing. And also
it was
Lane.
real personal.
Also, Lane was just gonna die and have John Lark take over. And I like that
He's like, it's
Lark.
fine.
I love that Lark is just like, could stop this at any time, but I guess he respects Lane too much. And because he yells at him, he's like, why did you have to complicate this? Who gives a fuck about Ethan Hunt? Let's
Right?
just do the plan. And then
Yeah.
like he could kill Ethan when Ethan's under the elevator.
Yes.
And he's like, no, he's got plans. Here, by the way, we know who your wife is. We're gonna blow her up. So it's a great when they like finally bump into each other.
yes.
And he's just like, oh, and it's great because
Her
her new husband's there.
Yeah.
I forget, Wes Bentley, I think, plays him. And he's like, what's up, man? Do you want to hang out? He's like, not really.
and she knows. She's like, oh no, if Ethan's here, like
yeah,
shit
she's
is
like,
going
if
down.
Ethan's here, something bad. And you like, I love how they're trying to make small talk, and she's like looking around, and then she sees Luther, and she's like,
there's Luther,
oh,
there's
fuck.
Benji, like, oh no.
She's like, this isn't good. This isn't good. So yeah, it's a very exciting finale where they have to disarm the
This
bomb.
is when we learn Luther's so good at
Yes.
disarming bombs.
He's really good at disarmament. So Luther has to disarm a bomb. Benji and Ilsa have to fight Lane. And freaking Ethan Hunt needs to somehow fly a helicopter to catch up to Henry Cavill to stop the detonator. So
Does this
they
not-
got to pull a detonator out before they cut a wire.
This feels very much like the movie we just watched.
It is, yeah. Where
Very
there's,
similar
like,
format.
A lot of things happening at once. You can't have too many
There's
things.
someone in the sky.
Yeah.
There's someone on the ground with a bomb.
Yes, and the
There's-
helicopter stuff is great
Yeah,
in this.
this is fun.
It's really, really fun. It was going to go on longer. There was a shot in the trailer where he like goes down to street level and almost hits a truck. But I guess the sequence was going too long, so they snipped that part out. Henry Cavill gets horribly burnt with like oil. He's like Two-Face at the
real,
end.
like disfigured, yeah.
And it is like tense because it is like coming down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
They're fighting Lane. Benji almost dies. They're sitting there, but they can't do anything until he pulls it, and they just have to assume that he did it. And it's a nice
yeah, they're
fake
just
out.
like wait as long as you can.
Yeah.
And hope he did it.
There's like this fake out at the end where it's like all white, And then it's just like him holding the detonator like he did it. Henry Cavill gets the freaking hook to the head.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
brutal. He survives a lot, and then like he gets hooked to the head and yanked down.
Oh my god.
And Lane survives again.
Right? But like what? Like
That was a good time to kill him, I think.
yeah.
I think that would have been totally acceptable to kill
I think
Lane there.
it's like obvious that like keeping him around to like interrogate is not helpful. Like he needs to be out of the game.
Yeah, it's really, really good. I remember, again, someone who like likes Rogue Nation was like, whatever. I walked out going, oh my God, that was great. I take back any reservation I had. That was amazing. Oh my God, I love this movie. It's good. It's very, very exciting.
Yeah.
But
this
yeah,
one.
I really, really liked it. Everything worked for me in that one. And then it's kind of implied that Ilsa and him are like a thing now.
Yeah. I mean, and you get like that. It's like, oh, it's okay because his wife remarried.
Yeah.
So it's like he's still a good guy. He's
Yes.
allowed to.
And I like her. She's like, no, I have a really great life because of you. Like we couldn't be
Yeah.
together, but like, yeah. I think there was even an alternate ending where he like meets with Angela Bassett's character and then he walks away with Ilsa. But instead they just end it with him in the hospital, just being like, don't make me laugh because he's all sore and
'Cause he's
shit.
like, yeah.
Because he fell off a goddamn helicopter.
right? He like actually is like, oh, here are the repercussions of my actions.
Alec Baldwin died. Alec Baldwin
Yes,
died.
he died. That's
He
it.
didn't make
That's
it
right.
out of
I
it.
forgot.
But yeah,
I was like, I knew he doesn't stay around long.
yeah. And no Jeremy Renner. He's gone.
No, he was just out.
He's out.
They don't mention it really, right?
They don't mention him at all.
We're gonna just assume he went to work for the CIA.
Yeah. Or, I don't know.
Someone else, like
Maybe he
another.
just quit.
Maybe he quit to go start a family.
Yeah. He's like, you know what? Ethan's got this. I'm fine. I'm going to go back to being Hawkeye on Disney Plus for one season. There we go. I'm going to go be the mayor of Kingstown. I think that's the show he does. I don't watch it, but I think that's the show
say
that he
yes,
does
that's
now. Yeah, very, very exciting movie. I really like it. And then they were like, well, McQuarrie's 2 for 2.
Let's keep going.
Let's bring him back. And then they did Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, Part 1. And I have it here. Now I will read this correctly.
Mhm.
I skipped ahead before.
You're just so excited.
Tom Cruise is at the top of his game in the film critics are calling the best mission ever. Ethan Hunt and Cruise and his IMF team embark on their most dangerous mission yet to track down a terrifying new weapon that threatens all of humanity before it falls in the wrong hands. With the fate of the world at stake, a deadly race around the globe begins. Confronted by a mysterious, all-powerful enemy, Ethan is forced to consider that nothing can matter more than his mission, not even the lives of those he cares about most. Dead Reckoning Part 1. This one got hit with COVID.
Yeah, and you can tell sometimes.
Especially now that we've seen the last one.
Yes, this last one, like,
Yeah.
is good. Like,
Yeah, all these big budget action movies are going to have wonky blue screen once in a while.
yeah,
But the ones during COVID, you're like, oh, that's actually a lot.
and I get it. It's fine. I mean, I'd rather them have like
Yeah.
be making money doing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Putting people to work.
Well,
instead of-
famously, the audio leaked of him yelling at people.
Yes, because
Although no, we know now. It's just like he was kind of overreacting, but they didn't know at the time.
they didn't know at the time.
time.
And the idea is like, yeah, and at the time, you know, the one person catches it and you shut the whole production down,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's, you know, like
I think he like had to like beg like whatever government to like let them film there.
yeah,
He's like,
no,
please,
I mean, like it was like
we'll do whatever we have to. Please let us film here.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one had a bit of a delay, and I think that inflated the budget. This is the only one that has underperformed financially. But also the summer of 2023, you had multiple part ones.
Yes.
So there was, from what I hear, Fast and Furious 10 was actually a part 1, left off at a cliffhanger. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse ended on a cliffhanger.
Yep.
And I feel like there was another one.
There might have been.
but I can't remember. So I think by the time this came out, they're like another cliffhanger. At least it was advertised that it was a part 1.
Yeah.
So I could see some people going, you know what? I'll just wait till part 2 and I'll watch it then.
Yeah.
And it came out, I think, a week or two before Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
So there was a lot going against this movie, but the movie itself, I think, is pretty good. It's definitely the most sci-fi of all of them.
Yeah, I was thinking about that today, and I really enjoyed the sci-fi aspect, but I felt like this one was just too long, which I feel about most part 1s.
Yes. Yeah, because they're trying to set up everything for like the next film.
I know, but or like I feel like what ends up happening sometimes is that they basically what could have been an act 1, they turn into a full, you know. And this one was 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I think they were.
So it just felt like, I mean, there's lots of really good stunts and lots of good action happening, but it just, for me, from like a story standpoint, you're like, well, we really only accomplished maybe like 25 minutes of plot, and it took them over 2.5 hours.
Yes. So yeah, this one's about The Entity.
Yes.
No, not the horror film The Entity, starring Barbara Hershey. A different entity, AI, an evil AI. And
topical.
Look, there's been a lot of evil AIs. In fact, remember the movie Eagle Eye with Shia LaBeouf?
Oh, man.
Michelle Monaghan from Mission Impossible 3 and 4, and Fallout was the character in that film. So yeah, evil AI, it's always been around. It's been around since 2001 Space Odyssey film-wise.
Yeah,
anyway.
right?
But I guess this came out in 2023 when a bunch of AI stuff was coming out, so it's fresh in everyone's mind.
Yes, a lot of like ChatGPT. Wait, it was 2023 or was that 2024?
I'm sure it was around there, yeah. That's when it like really started to blow up. Maybe a few years before, but it didn't get real popular until then.
Yeah.
Now it's all over the place. And like there's pros and cons to it.
Yes.
When it comes to film, I'm hoping to God, whoever Google's paying to make bots on Twitter saying VO is great. That's their new AI video thing.
Oh.
And they're like, look, Hollywood films are done for. And I'm like, that character's eye keeps moving over. And I'm pretty sure you snipped whatever the best results of your prompts were, and you're leaving a lot out.
Like short, but
yeah, that's the thing. So some people are like some people are like, I'm anti-AI everything. And I'm like, well, buckle up, buddy, because that's where the industry's going.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that probably before us were like, digital editing.
Right?
No. Photoshop? You just airbrush. I'm like, well, it's coming, buddy. You better be prepared a little bit. But yeah, I think there's also other people that are like, I can just do the whole movie like this. And I'm like, and it'll look like shit.
Yeah, and we
like
will know.
when CGI kind of became affordable in the early 2000s and a bunch of direct-to-video movies were like, look at my movie. Like, yeah, it looks terrible. It looks nothing like Jurassic Park.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to go through that with AI. So yeah, but so I get annoyed with it when people like overdo it or like over-rely on it. It's just like, that looks really bad. I did a whole, actually on this channel, there's a whole bonus stream that I did with my cousin Monica and Joey C. We did it live at the brewery. We looked up the fake AI movie posters that were getting recommended to me on Facebook for movies that clearly don't exist, and we were just ripping them apart. Like none of these make sense. There's one with Keanu Reeves, and he's got a gun with 1 million barrels on it that aren't connected to anything.
I love it.
So yes, there's a evil AI. It came from a Russian sub. Well, we learned that's not the actual origin.
No.
Came from a Russian sub, and it's slowly starting to take over like the internet and everything. People are all the intelligence agencies are terrified because they don't know what to believe because it can manipulate
it's
anything.
Changing like all the archives and your images.
Yes, and they learned that there is a crucifix key that needs to be put together to go into a sub and like rewrite its source code, but they don't know where the sub is.
Yes.
They don't know anything. So basically, like, it's Ethan on the hunt from everyone again.
Classic
Ethan. And also Ilsa on everyone's hunting her again. And he has to deal with a person from his past. And skipping ahead to the next one, we never really learn what their deal was. So
no, we don't. I was a little disappointed. I thought we were going to bring that up.
Yeah, we flash back. So at some point before he was an IMF, Ethan must have been like a thief or something.
Yeah.
And he worked with this man named Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
Gabriel killed, I guess, a woman that he loved.
Yep.
And Ethan has, at that point, Ethan got arrested and was given the choice to join IMF. He's now like been made aware that this guy is alive, and this guy is working for the entity. And the entity, like, they can't use any of their cool gadgets.
No, because the entity can control anything through, the internet.
Yes. Like, they're wearing like the glasses because they're looking for the key.
Yeah,
They're looking for the key that's being handed off to someone. This is where we get Grace, played by Haley Atwell, who, Vanessa Kirby and Rebecca Ferguson weren't enough, Angela. We needed Haley Atwell. And we needed to make sure she was wearing a vest and a button-up shirt the whole time. But don't worry, that next movie fixes it. So they throw her in this as like a thief, which is fun. Reminds me of 2 a little bit.
Yes, it definitely had that vibe of 2, of like partnering up. And that's a nice little like extra thing you can play around with, because like Ethan isn't a thief. Like he
was at one point.
No, well, they even say he's like framed. Like in the newest movie, they're like, you were framed for, and like because you were framed, you had to join IMF. So who even knows what he was doing there? You know what I mean? But yeah, he's like that. You get all that cool sleight of hand, like trickety tricks again that we had in the second movie.
But I like that he has glasses that are tracking her. But when he sees the bad guy, the AI erases the guy.
Yes.
So they're at a disadvantage here. They're like, we can't use our stuff. And I like that the AI faked that there was a bomb in the airport.
Everyone's like, oh no, there's a bomb here.
So like there's a whole tense sequence where Benji is trying to like disarm a nuclear bomb, but they don't want Ethan to know because he's dealing with the cops looking for him.
Yeah, he's like, he's got too much going on. He doesn't need to know.
And he's
about
like, the bomb's made of riddles. He's like, what about this? And he's just like, wait, what? It's a nuclear bomb. He's like, a nuclear bomb? You can interrupt me for a nuclear bomb.
That was such a good scene. It's just like, tell me what the riddle is. You can interact. Like, it's just like trying to like get riddles out of Ethan as he's like getting hunted through the like TSA line.
And the movie fakes you out in the beginning thinking Elsa died. They bring back, she's like a sniper. She gets killed by Gabriel's men. There is another fake out where like all the intelligence agencies are meeting with Kittredge, a character from the first film who wanted to take Ethan Hunt in because he thought Ethan Hunt went rogue, but really it was Jim Phelps. And I love when he interrupts that whole meeting. Like he just gasses all of them.
He's just like, we're done.
And he tells me like, you need to let me do my thing. Leave me alone. I'm going to get this done. They have to find the keys. That's the most important thing.
That's the important thing. Because you need both of them to make it work.
So it ends up leading them back to Max's daughter, who again, I'm sure has a name, Vanessa Kirby. So you get Vanessa Kirby, Rebecca Ferguson, and Haley Atwell all in the same scene.
Because she's she's again the broker, right? Yeah. So she's like, my client wants these keys.
Yes. And then there's the reveal that the client is the entity. And they're in a big nightclub. And I love that the graphics on the screens are just the entity's evil eye that we saw earlier on the Russian sub. But then we were joking. It's like, wow, so the entity had to like organize a party, find dancers, go through all the dancers' pictures, and be like, that'll be a good one.
Like, did it like hold like auditions and just like review people's self-tapes? Like, what was going on?
I think so, actually. And Gabriel's there. So the entity we learn picked Gabriel for a specific reason. So the entity is constantly thinking of like scenarios and stuff. And the entity knows. The entity is smart enough, Angela, to know as long as this Ethan Hunt guy's around, I'm fucked. Because he always stops every world-ending plan ever.
There's been a lot of them over the years, over the 30...
Yeah, 30 years. Yeah, it will be 30 years next year. Jesus.
Yeah, 96.
God, that first one came out when I was in first or second grade. Oh, my God.
You're old. Not me.
Fuck you. Like a year or two younger. Shut up.
Like half a year younger than you.
You're like, I'm here enjoying my youth, Tony.
Yeah.
So they realized the entity organized it, and it wants Gabriel because it knows it'll fuck up Ethan.
Yes.
It'll throw Ethan off his game, and Gabriel does the ultimate villain thing, like choose which one you want to save.
Yeah, real Sophie's choice.
Yeah, you're loving on again, off again, casual thing, Elsa. Oh, it's implied that Ethan had sex with Vanessa Kirby's character. They apparently came to some agreement afterwards, and also she's not fully bad. She's filled in with her mom's deal with like helping the intelligence agencies. Well,
Yeah,
as
she's
much as
like-
she wants, I guess.
She's like, I'm just here to make money.
Yeah.
I'm not here to be evil, but if
Yeah.
I do evil to
Yeah.
make money, like happens.
But yeah, so he does like the whole like plan where he's just like, I'm gonna kill one of these people. And it's like, well, he doesn't really know Grace that well. He just needs her to, steal this shit. But yeah, it leads to an exciting chase. And there was a fun chase actually before this where they're driving through Rome.
Yes, the Rome
But the
chase was
CGI was rough in it.
Yeah.
The digital backgrounds were rough in it. Oh, and I forgot our bad guy. The bad guy's henchman, I think her name's Palm something.
Oh yeah, what is her name?
In the
feel like
movie, I think her name was like Paris, which was funny because I think she's French.
Yeah, she's like, she speaks French the whole time.
Yes. She's like Harley Quinn, kind of. She's
Yeah, they like kind of toned her down for the second movie.
well, the second one, she's got other things going on. She's like, I'm pissed. My bad guy betrayed me.
Yeah.
But
in
yeah,
this one,
she
she's like, oh, got that.
she
Yeah.
drives like an armored SUV all through fucking Rome,
She's
just
like-
murdering.
Pure chaos the
Yeah.
whole time. She's got like this wild makeup on for half the movie where she's like.
But yeah,
ready-
she gets into a fight with Ethan when
Yeah.
he's trying to like meet up with Gabriel, who's going after Grace. He tells Ilsa to get away, but Ilsa
No.
decides she can take him.
I was hoping it'd be you.
She's like, I can do it.
And sadly, Ilsa dies in this.
She does.
And everyone at the time, so I reviewed this initially when it came out on the wrap up, and my friend Adam said, she's not dead. She'll come back.
No, there's no way that that's the final nail.
I'm
There's
hoping
no
it's
way.
not. I'm hoping it's not because that felt pretty cheap.
It did.
And then I saw an interview with her where she's like, I love playing Ilsa, but those movies are very big and very time consuming, and it stops me from doing other roles I might want to do. And I mean, come on, she had to go play Lady Jessica in Dune Part 2, okay? She needed that time. But yeah, sadly, she dies. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. She was like one of the best new additions to the team.
Right? But
They've tried other people on the team, but other than Simon Pegg, Ilsa was like the only one I really liked.
Grace is pretty cool in the second one.
Huh?
Grace is decent.
Grace gets better.
Yeah.
Yes. This one, not so much.
Not in this one because she wasn't a love interest.
Yeah.
So she didn't get to be super cool yet.
That was the weird part. Her becoming anyway. Yeah. So now this guy has killed 2 women that Ethan's loved. He's working with the ultimate enemy ever.
Yeah.
That will
Through,
destroy
like,
everything.
Worldwide.
Yeah. So it leads to a train heist.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, someone is going to be buying these keys from Vanessa Kirby's character. We got to intercept them. We got to get you, Grace, to go in there undercover with the mask and everything and be Vanessa Kirby and get the information from the dealer.
Yep.
And at the same time, Ethan Hunt needs to infiltrate that train to, make sure he gets the guy.
Yeah, he
or
can't like
something.
get on the train for some reason. I forget.
Yes,
Like, a
and then they're
normal
going to need
person.
to escape afterwards with the key. They want the
Yeah.
key so it doesn't get into Gabriel's hands or anyone else's hands. They
Right.
want to get it from there, and he's going to escape. And I think they make a copy key or something like that. So it's fun. Grace does the whole thing where she's Vanessa Kirby, but Gabriel, because he's working with the entity, and the entity is letting him know what it thinks Ethan will do, he sabotaged the train to go way too fast.
Yes.
And then I love that you really can't trust the government, Angela.
You can't.
We learned that Carrie Elways, who didn't, by the way, I love that literally the CIA was probably like the only ones who knew who they were. Because they're like, yes, the IMF. He's like, the International Monetary. No, there's
that was-
another IMF, the
Yes.
Impossible Mission Force. He's like, what the fuck is that?
He's like that. You're lying. There's no way you would just call something the Impossible Mission Force. I like they called that out.
Yeah, we find out that turns out the Russians didn't make the AI.
No.
They were just trying to make a sub that was undetectable to anyone. And I said, they did that in Hunt for Red October. And Sean Connery gave it to the Americans. Anyway, so it's implied in the beginning that the Russians created this AI, and it turns out the Americans made this AI to fuck with the Russian subs, but then the AI became self-aware and started like just working on its own. So like Carrie always really wants to get like all this information and stuff he wants to control the AI. That's the thing. No one really is out to kill the AI because they're like, but if
Yes.
we control it, then we can manipulate everything and it'll be fine.
It'll be all right. It's fine.
And he meets with the bad guy, Gabriel, because
Mm-hmm.
he's like, I want to work with you, Gabriel. I know I'm the only one who knows the location of this. And then Gabriel kills him.
Yep. He's like, great.
Yeah, because Gabriel is like all chaos. He's like, I want the
Yeah,
entity to win.
mm-hmm.
I love killing people. It's awesome. He even tries to kill Blondie because
His
Ethan
best
spared
friend.
her. And this leads to her character change in the next one.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then on the other side, the person who wants to buy the keys is Kittredge from IMF.
Because he wants to control the.
Yes.
Again, they don't want. They're evil in the sense of they think they can control evil, right?
Yes.
But they don't actually want to end the world. They're just
Yeah.
like, oh, like America would be safer if we had this, and like everyone else is like, no,
That's what happens in Terminator. If they turn on Skynet,
Right.
it becomes self-aware, and the first thing it does is like, all right, let's launch a nuke at Russia and just let this play out.
right? Like, hey,
And then it's like, and now I'm gonna make robot skeletons, and I'm gonna enslave humanity.
I
I don't know
can
why
see it.
Skynet did that.
Enslave humanity or make the
Like,
skeleton
just kill
robot?
humanity. You don't really need them, really. I guess maybe it needs them in the beginning to build some stuff, but then you can just.
I
make
mean,
ro-
like once you get enough, like you get like solar panels going, then you don't need them anymore, right?
Am I confusing it with the Matrix?
Matrix is the one where they're like the people are the batteries in the Matrix.
Yeah,
That's why they can't kill the
Because
people.
humanity like nuked a bunch of stuff and it caused nuclear winter, and they don't have any sunlight.
Yeah. So they
And
like
the
have to
robots
use
never thought
humans
to
as-
like build a tower that pierces the sun. Anyway, sorry. Matrix episodes. Go back and watch those. So yeah, everyone wants to control it. No one wants
Right.
to kill it. Ethan is the only one
the
who wants
only
to like
one.
kill it, but he doesn't know the location of the sub.
So how can you kill it?
Yeah. So it leads to the big stunt of the movie, which they kept showing. They show it here. He drives a motorcycle off a cliff.
Yeah,
Now, he really drove that motorcycle off the cliff.
he did.
Looks great in a promo video. They built a giant ramp and then covered it in CGI rocks, so it looks very fake, even though it's
Yeah.
real. It's like, okay.
Again, yeah, it's like
The skydiving part looks cool,
right, yes.
but the motorcycle
Him in
part,
the
I'm like, that's a
sky,
very
I guess
fake
that's
looking
the-
ramp. Ugh. And then it leads to the train sequence where, like, eventually, you know, characters are revealed. They get the stuff. There's a big fight. He fights Gabriel. And that's the thing. Luther tells me, he's like, Gabriel has the information we need.
We cannot kill
We
him.
cannot kill him. You have to bring him in. But at this point, Gabriel has killed people close to him. So, like, Luther is just like, I know you're going to want to kill him. Or Simon Pegg. One of them
Yeah,
tells him,
yeah.
it's like, but you have to not kill him. And there's a great moment where he's
Follow.
on the train pointing the
Yeah.
knife in his neck, and then he, like, gives up. And then there's the other American agents, gray-haired guy, who whatever his name is, we find out he has a different name in the
Oh,
next one, which was
yes.
bizarre.
They wanted to just try and tie it all together.
Yeah. So yeah, Gabriel gets away with
Mm-hmm.
the key. And then he has to go in and save Grace from this train crashing. And like the train going over the cliff is awesome. It reminds me of like Lost World where they're pushing the truck over the cliff.
This whole like runaway train was making me think of Anastasia.
Okay.
With you know, like the little like
I don't remember the
Rasputin's-
movie that well.
Oh my gosh.
I
little
remember there
Rasputin's,
were
like,
bats and
yeah,
Rasputin.
he's
and-
like he's got his green weird things.
I remember those. I don't remember a train.
And they like come and they like pull the lever off the train so you can't stop it. And it's like whoosh,
okay.
whoosh, whoosh, and they have to like jump off the train. It felt very reminiscent.
Got you. So that is fun where it's like going over.
Yeah,
Well,
and then it's like
him
falling
jumping.
off.
I love how he jumped off like the thing and then he saves her by
like,
crashing into the train
Oh yeah,
accidentally.
So he's just like
Even when he's not trying, he's the hero. So yeah, the train going where he's grabbing Grace, but then this part is like he's like, I'm really into Grace now. It's like, man, your girlfriend's not even like cold.
she's not even in the ground.
I'm sorry,
yet.
not your girlfriend. Your on again, off again, casual thing.
Yeah.
Your casual work fling.
Yeah. When the
so yeah.
arms dealer isn't around.
Yeah, so he gets the information he needs. He has the
Mm-hmm.
key. He's gonna get out of there. She gets the key from him. And I like that Gabriel timed everything out. He's like, I'm gonna jump off the train at this moment. There'll be a truck there, and I gotta figure it out. But then he realized the sleight of
Pulls
hand.
out.
Ethan switched the key, and he's like, fuck!
It's just like a lighter and not the key.
Yeah. And also before the jump, I love when Benji is just like, and then just jump. And he's like, what do you mean just jump?
It's like
You just jump. He's like, there's wind. I don't know if I'll get far enough. I don't think I can have enough room. And Benji's like, I'm just under. I love when Benji's having meltdowns,
like,
even though
stress.
it's
like in a car
Tom
somewhere,
Cruise
like-
is the one that has to do all the things.
But I liked on Benji's side. I feel like in all the other movies, like Tom Cruise is just like, I'm gonna just do this crazy thing, and Benji's like, that sounds insane, and
Yeah.
he's like, I got it. So then Benji's like, just do insane things, and there's the one time Ethan Hunt's like, what do you mean?
He's like, no, I get to say when we do insane things. You can't recommend insane things to me.
This is all we do is like, it's a crazy high stunt thingamabob.
Oh yeah, I don't know if it was this one or the previous one, but this is the start of the "We'll figure it out." I'll figure it
Yes,
out.
I
That
think-
becomes like the
yes.
running quote of the
We'll figure it
series.
out. I'll figure it out.
Because famously,
No
like
more
Mission
plans.
Impossible, it's always fun when they come up with a plan and then something like gets fucked up and they
Yes.
have to improvise. So I like, we'll figure it out. We'll figure something
Figure
out.
out, like they really just stopped making plans at
Yeah.
one point of these movies.
Yeah. So we learned that inside the sub is the original source code, and that's the only way to take over the entity. Ethan has the key to do it. Gabriel I guess Gabriel might be the only one who knows the location
Yes.
of the sub. Grace joins IMF.
Yeah, she does.
She gets recruited by Kittredge. And it gets left off on a really fun cliffhanger. I like this one. But it was weaker than his other two. And I
Yes.
think most of that was like just the jarring CGI backgrounds, the
I felt
COVID
like the
stuff.
pacing. Like I
There's too many characters, I think. If I guess Rebecca Ferguson wanted out. I wish she didn't leave and we didn't do as much as I like looking at Hallie Atwell. I wish we didn't do the Grace character and had it a little bit more toned down. It is a little longer than it needs to be. I agree. The AI thing is goofy. I like it, but
I think because I am not a computer coder, I can just say I'm pretty sure this source code thing is not how it works. But like I don't know enough to be that annoyed by it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'll accept it. I'm sure it's not.
I do like that
accurate.
they have a low-tech bunker that's all analog radio
Yes.
stuff and 2 monitors. And then like Luther leaves in the middle of the movie. He's like, Ethan, I can't tell you where I'm going, but I have to do something.
Yes.
It's going to take all of my knowledge and skills to do something to this. So it's a pretty fun cliffhanger. I guess everyone who did watch it eventually when it hit like Prime and stuff liked it because this next one is actually doing very well. And I think it had a huge opening weekend.
I mean, it's got a pretty big marketing budget. I've seen it everywhere.
Yeah, because it's this
Like-
final one. But yes, that leads us. Oh, wait. So yeah, what are your final thoughts on Dead
Yeah,
Reckoning
I
Part
think
1?
just out of the 4,
Or like, don't mention the 4th one yet. We're getting there.
Okay. Well, okay.
Compared
for
to the other two.
first, I think it's the weakest from the
Out
other
of the 3
two.
so far, yeah.
I think it's still better than 2.
Although that motorcycle change.
I mean, besides the way that 2 ends so amazingly, it just goes for it. But,
You know, he can do all those flips, and then he's in the train. He's like, "Whoa!" I'm like, "Just do a flip."
just do a flip. You're so good at them. But yeah, it's like of the first 3 of his movies, I think it's the weakest. I think it's just the pacing.
I think it is a build up to everything. But then when we get to the second one, they start adding more stuff. And I'm like, okay, it would have been nice to get more of a payoff in the second one instead of just more build up to something else.
Yes, I just because like the
They introduce more characters
They
next.
do. Well, so that's like a kind of nice thing about the 5 and 6,
Yeah.
where even though it was like 6 was a sequel,
Yeah.
like 5 was a complete movie with an ending, with like a kind of like it told a story, and then like 6 just was like, all right, we're gonna build off that
And
story.
it fills you in on what you need to know.
right. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? So I think
Like,
that was done.
I think my ex, I think I showed her Fallout. And she got what was going on because it
Right,
lets you
'cause you're
know.
like-
It fills you.
Yeah, you know, you're like, oh, in case you forgot, like this is what we're doing, but it's still like it builds. It's not just like it doesn't feel like we smash cut to like next day,
Yeah.
and this one just felt like it was just like
There's a lot
we
going
didn't
on.
go anywhere. It just felt like there was so much happening that
Yeah. I don't think we needed a like crazy manic pixie henchman who paints
Yeah,
her
right.
face, who will become a good guy next.
I like her much better in the next movie.
Yeah, although the press for this was really funny because I think I told you in the commentary, but like they had her do interviews and Simon Pegg had a walkie in her
Oh
ear.
yes,
And he told her, like, he would just tell her things to say. And like he told her to like just randomly mention that she had a dead dog that made her sad. And then at one point he goes, use the word hashtag as much as you can. So she just kept saying, yeah, so I did this, hashtag that. And the girl interviewing her is like, what? So that was fun. And that's the first time I saw that actress without weird bug eyes, because I've only seen her in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies where she has weird bug eyes and antennas. I'm like, oh, she actually looks normal without the antennas.
Right?
We cut to the latest one. The Final Reckoning. They changed the name of the movie. And it's been really bothering me that it's Dead Reckoning Part 1, Final Reckoning.
Yeah, but how could they fit Dead Reckoning Part 2 so seamlessly into the dialogue twice? They couldn't do that. They had to change it. We get final. Someone says Final Reckoning like 2 different times in this movie.
They really did. They really did. But yeah, that leads us to Final Reckoning. Can you read us the synopsis there?
Yeah. Ethan Hunt and the IMF team continue their search for the terrifying AI known as the Entity, which has infiltrated intelligence networks all over the globe, with the world's governments and a mysterious ghost from Ethan's past on their trail. Joined by new allies and armed with the means to shut the entity down for good, Hunt is in a race against time to prevent the world as we know it from changing forever.
I need you to trust me. One last time.
So we just saw this movie today.
Yeah, a few hours ago.
Yes, it's fresh in our head. And this was going to be a big moment for us, Angela. I was very happy. I was like, you know what? Usually when Angela sees these movies, I'm talking throughout it. Finally, I will be quiet during this movie as much as I possibly can be. And I was like, and Angela will finally be able to watch a Mission Impossible movie in peace and quiet. Turns out, the elderly couple in front of us, the wife was hard of hearing, so she had to have one of those headsets, and it wasn't working. And she let her husband know it wasn't working by yelling really loudly. So then the nice gentleman who worked at the theater came and brought her one of those screens, which I actually never seen before.
No, I was like really impressed.
I heard they existed. I had no idea. So yeah, you hold a little screen and it has the subtitles on it. So you like glance up and down to what they're saying. I imagine it would be difficult. And I think it was confirmed that was difficult because she complained about it. Throughout the film. We had to hear these two talk for most of the movie.
Because she didn't want to read the screen, so he had to like explain to her what someone just said.
Yes. I'm sorry.
I was at first impressed that like this 80-year-old couple was in to see this action-packed Tom Cruise movie.
When they were in their youthful 60s, they must have really liked the first one.
And I just was like, this is cute because the husband's trying so hard to help her. This is so annoying because I'm trying to watch a movie and she's talking so loudly. So I kind of went back and forth, but I got the gist of it. It's fine.
Yeah. If I have that condition, I'm just not going to the movies.
By that time, they'll come up with a better solution for you.
Yeah, at home. You just watch it at home when it comes out.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess time isn't on their side and they really wanted to see how the Final Reckoning ended. So maybe, yes, time was of the essence for them. But I mean, before that, anyway. So I felt, although it was kind of ironic, I'm like, finally, the one time she doesn't have to is the time it happens.
But I have to say, it is really fun watching it in theaters. It's
not IMAX, though. Sorry about that. We just saw it on a regular screen.
Just a regular old
Look, again,
theater.
it's Memorial Day. I didn't want to go see this at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Sit there for 3 hours and then record afterwards. I'm like, let's not keep you here all night long.
I appreciate that.
But it was still fun regardless. This one feels more like a movie. It
felt like a movie. I like that.
There is wonky green screen, but again, you're always going to get
too
that.
bad.
But it's only limited in certain scenes. Like
Yes.
there's like when they're in a cave at the end.
Yes,
there
with
were a
the
lot of like
cars.
blue screen stuff, but it
Yeah.
was limited to that. Whereas the last movie, a lot of weird digital backgrounds. Yeah, this one it moves a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
We learn. Okay, so yeah, we forgot to mention Dead Reckoning Part 1 is the first one that doesn't have J.J. Abrams like studio involved since Part 3.
Yeah.
And I theorized.
Yeah, you said this on one of the commentary tracks.
And maybe even the actual 3 episode, because there was a shot in the trailer of Ethan grabbing the rabbit's foot from 3. But we never saw that in part 3. Because remember, it like cuts to him in the building and then him leaving the building.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, is that a deleted scene? Are we going to flash back to that? Is the rabbit's foot going to be involved with this in any way, shape, or form? And if you're really annoyed at J.J. Abrams' mystery box, I guess Christopher McQuarrie is too, because he's like, fuck it, I'm going to tell you guys what it is. I remember Benji in part 3 said, whenever I hear anything like this, I always think it's what my professor used to call it as the anti-god.
Yes.
So, turns out it wasn't biological, even though it had a biohazard thing on it.
That was just a...
Yeah. Turns out it was this AI that they were developing. The East was developing.
Yes.
And then the West, because of Ethan Hunt, IMF got it, and they tried to develop this. And apparently the Russian sub thing, where in Dead Reckoning 1, I feel like that's something that happened recently.
That's what I thought. I thought it happened like at the beginning of the movie. And then in this one, you find out it happened back in 2012.
Yes.
When did the third movie come out?
2006.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess they worked on it a bit.
They worked. Yeah. He steals it.
Yeah. Whatever they were developing at that lab, the Americans perfected it and they made the AI. So if the world were to end with nuclear Armageddon, Ethan's like, I feel somewhat responsible for this.
Yet again, we have a nuclear Armageddon because of Ethan, right?
He's trying to save his wife. He needed to save his wife, Angela.
Saving his wife, saving Luther. He's always putting the whole
And they call him out on that. Like, every
Yes.
time you save someone, it's at the risk of murdering billions of people.
Which, like, would include those people he's trying to save.
Yes.
They are part of the world.
Yes. So yeah, now he has a personal attachment to this mission other than Gabriel. Gabriel has been fired by the entity.
Yeah, Gabriel, like, fucked up, and the entity is not pleased. That was,
So-
like, not in the entity's, like,
Yeah.
mathity math.
So Gabriel has gone rogue from the entity.
Yes.
And his plan, because he knows he now needs Ethan, because he knows Ethan's the only one who can pull off these fucking stunts to get the box that has the entity's source code in it. Meanwhile, Luther developed a thing that will like kill the entity when it's connected to the box with the source
so
code.
it doesn't kill it. This like the black pill, right? That's what they call it.
Yeah, no, that does kill it.
No, the thing, it doesn't kill it. It confuses it. It like, this is what I was, all right, you tell me, because I was confused. First, I thought it killed the AI, right?
Yeah.
But then there's like an extra part to their mission plan. And then later on they say, no, it just...
you're right. It'll confuse it and think it's in
reality.
Right,
And then
you're
it
right,
can't tell what we're doing. So now we can trick it and trap it. But like that was very confusing until we got to the end of that movie.
Yes. Okay, you're right. I messed
No,
it up.
because it's like unclear for a long.
But
long
it will
part of
will destroy, even though the entity's trapped, it will destroy the source code in that thing, so people can't replicate
so you can't
it.
so it's like a whole. It's like a part one of killing the entity. You need this thing.
So because Ethan Hunt's the only one who has the key, Gabriel's just like, you're gonna go get me that box.
Yeah.
And you have to go to the Sevastopol sub to get it, but no one knows where the sub is. So Ethan is now going to like the military. Sorry. After he gets this information, Luther gets attacked. Luther is like dying or sick.
Yeah, did I miss that?
I'm guessing. So this is like 2 months after the first one. They might have cut something out. They didn't mention him being sick in the last one.
I don't remember that happening. And all of a sudden
But he's very sick in this, and he has a nurse and everything.
Yeah, like he's like in a clean room that they set up for him.
Yeah. So I don't know if there's a deleted scene, like maybe something he did affected him somehow. Oh, and meanwhile, sorry, a little bit background, what's going on with the world. The entity is like brainwashing people who are on the internet too much to want the entity to destroy everyone. I realized that's what kind of happened to Gabriel. Because Ethan gets in this thing where he can communicate with the entity, and the
like
entity's
direct,
just like
into his brain.
The entity's like, I'm going to do this. You're gonna help me. You're gonna do it. I'm gonna blow up the world. But you're gonna help me get into this doomsday facility, which we learn what that is in a little bit.
Yes.
But yeah, Gabriel leaves Luther with a nuclear bomb. and Luther
Yet again,
Luther
needs to crack a bomb.
It's pretty sad. It's sad.
No, it was.
Because Luther, I guess he was already dying.
Yes.
So that's why he's not too scared. Again, I really think they should have explained that a little more. But yeah, he can stop it from going nuclear and detonating the like whatever radioactive part, but it's still gonna detonate. So he tells Ethan, he's like, Ethan, this is what you have to do. I am here to make sure you live and carry out this mission.
Yeah.
He's like, there's that pill thing. Well, the bad guy took it. Gabriel now has the pill. And he's like, I left you a message on it. Please destroy that thing.
Right.
And Luther dies.
And I feel like, okay, this is sad because I love Luther.
Yeah.
But we have that like little bit of a like character arc, a tiny bit for Ethan, right? Where he does, like he tries and then he's finally like, no, I do have to leave Luther behind for the good of like.
Yeah. Humanity.
The good of humanity. So he kind of like makes up for that in a couple.
Also, I like that the movie started off with a montage.
Oh
of
my
all
God.
of Ethan's greatest hits.
I have to say, if you don't feel like watching 8 movies, you can really just watch this one, and it covers all of them.
When you're they don't show too much from 2.
No, they show like the lady.
Well, they he gets the mission briefing, and it's from the president. So Angela Bassett is now the president. She won an election, I guess.
Yeah.
And she's like narrating all this stuff, and it's like showing a highlight reel of his greatest hits. But at some point she goes, all the risks you've taken, and it's him on the side of the mountain from 2. I'm like, that wasn't a mission. He was doing that for fun.
That was his like vacation.
That was him being risky for no reason. In context of the movie,
right?
It doesn't make sense. It looks cool in a montage, but like he was just being an asshole.
He was just like, they like had to take a helicopter to go find him. They're like, we need your help, and he's like, I'm on vacation.
Yeah, he takes one vacation, and suddenly there's a virus. Yeah, so I like that. But yeah, so he now has to go get he has to go to where the sub is. They have an idea of where it might be, but he needs precise location. So Benji is now a team leader and has to take Grace, Blondie, and that other guy. The other guy's guy. Again, too many characters.
Like, he was introduced in
part
part 1, right? Yeah.
Him and the gray-haired dude who, let's just get it out of the way. So the gray-haired dude who was hunting Ethan in the last movie, he has a one-on-one with Ethan. He's like, what's your name? And he says it, and he goes, but that's not your original name.
Your name.
It's Jim Phelps's son.
Yeah, it's Jim Phelps, named after your father. So I was like, wouldn't that be... Why wouldn't you just call him Jim Phelps Jr. then?
JJ. Instead, he has a whole different name. Probably
JJ
because
Phelps.
his dad... which he's like, the reason we find out he hates Ethan... It's like, oh, let me guess. Were you framed? You seem to get framed a lot. And he's like, no, your dad really was bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. Like,
I'm sorry.
promise.
I'm sorry. Not Peter Graves turned evil.
Yeah. Fake Peter Graves.
I was wondering if they were going to retcon it. It's like, yes, I knew your dad, Jim Phelps. He was one of 2 Jim Phelps who worked at IMF. The other one that you know was a nice guy. I was wondering if they were going to go that far. They end up not going that far. So he has a whole thing. He's like, at the end of this, I'm gonna kill you. Maybe you'll have your final reckoning.
Yeah, I think he was one of the final reckonings.
I love the scene with him and the president where he's like trying to tell him like, you have to trust me one last time. But they're like, what the hell? You've done all this shit and you want us to trust you? And I love that she's like yelling at him and screaming at him, and it turns out she secretly approved it. But she waited until he was out because she didn't want the other generals to stop him.
She didn't want anyone else to stop him. So
Nick Offerman's in this.
Like, so underutilized.
He came out of nowhere.
Also, no beard. That was disappointing. Maybe I just like guys with beards. Is this what I'm discovering about myself?
I don't know. Bob has a beard, right?
He does.
Yeah. Well, it checks out.
See?
It
There you
checks out.
Man, all right.
He looks, I think did he have a facial hair in Civil War? The Alex Garland Civil War, not the Marvel Civil War.
Oh.
Did you see Civil War?
No, I didn't.
That's good.
Yeah.
It was just so funny. I saw his name in the credits and I'm like,
right? We're both like,
I watched the trailers. I don't remember seeing him in the trailers.
He's just,
so that was a surprise.
I feel like everyone's in this movie. Like the whole movie, I just kept being like, wait, it's that person.
Yeah. I don't watch Ted Lasso, but I think the blonde girl is in that. Yeah.
The owner.
Yeah.
or owner's wife and from
Sure.
Ted Lasso's in it.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have her British accent. They give her an American accent because she's part of the American military in this one. I was waiting for it. I was like, ooh, what are we doing here?
But
the
yeah,
guy
so
from
she
Severance
she
pops
trusts
in.
she trusts Ethan more. She's just like, we're gonna give him a couple days. So basically, the entity is taking over every country's nuclear arsenal. At the beginning of the movie, there's only 4 left: Russia, China,
Yes.
England, and America. And then it's slowly taking them over. And I like the little. Maybe we didn't need so much of the subplot with the president in hindsight.
Yeah.
It adds extra tension, but like this movie's long. It's like we probably could
Yeah.
have cut this. We
That
could have
could have
assumed
been
things were
really-
getting tense. Because at one point they're like, look, if we act right now, we can bomb all our enemies. And then they basically go, and we can bomb one of our own cities to make it look like we were attacked too.
Well, I think the idea was that if you were they trying to like bomb the like nuclear facilities to essentially stop the
I think
think that
so.
was the idea. It was like,
Yeah.
okay, we have control of our bombs. The
Yeah.
entity has control of everyone else's bombs.
Yeah.
So if we nuke their like one spot that they own the bombs,
Yeah.
then we could like stop, like we could prevent the entire world from dying. We'll just
Yeah.
have to kill 100 million people, right? Is
Yeah.
that what it was basically?
Yeah.
And so then they said, well, to show good faith, we'll just also bomb an American city to not create like World War III. We'll be like, we swear we did this out of like
Yeah.
for the good
Which
of
is
mankind.
pretty fun. I guess I misinterpreted. I thought they were like, can you believe it? We got hit too.
No, I think it was just to
Can
show.
you? Oh my God! You got nuked. Oh, we did too.
I think to show like this is a sacrifice that even America would make a sacrifice the way that like
I don't know if
everyone
that
else
would
had
work.
to.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think it
I don't
would.
think it
I
would
think it
work.
would just make everyone
I
upset.
think that would really upset everyone. But I like Ethan calls him out on it. It's like, you all had a chance to unplug, take your nukes
Yes.
offline, and you refused to do it because you were all scared of each other. Now the entity's got control of them. So yeah, Benji, Grace, who's back.
Yes.
Oh, I love the beginning where she has to watch Ethan murder people.
This is that scene after watching the whole movie confuses me because I thought, oh, we're going to get a little goofy in this one. I thought we were going to get a little like,
Well, they have a little fun here and there.
yeah, but like I thought it was taking this into like a different direction or I was wondering like, is this because like Tom Cruise is getting too old to do some of these shots where like
Well, no, because it's PG-13. What he does to them is pretty
I
brutal.
guess that's
so
why.
I like
I
that they
guess
just
that's
show
what
reaction.
just her reaction.
But I like that
shots.
afterwards. He's like, "Oh yeah, they're bad. They were gonna kill you. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah,
He's,
he
You're
like
doing
really
great.
like just
we have to go." And
we
then it
have to
cuts to
go
the
now.
fuse lighting.
Yes. And then we get into like the intro.
Yeah.
But, that was just like I thought it was like a tone change, and we didn't have that tone change. So I guess I was a little like disappointed.
Yeah. So then Benji and his team have to go to a facility to find. So they were like, okay, it happened in 2012 in this area. There's a site here that records like underwater like sound, and they'll have a record of like anything crazy, like a sub blowing up and crashing.
Yeah.
So they have to go there. The Russians are already there. But it turns out the person who lives here is the CIA guy from the vault in the first
The
movie.
very first, you called it too. You were like, "It's that man."
As soon as I saw him, like, it's him. It's him. So, turns out he got fired that day. Oh, but not fired. He got demoted and
Yes.
relocated to a random island.
like near the Arctic.
near the Arctic. He got married to an Inuit girl, which was
Yeah.
nice.
They like are so in love.
And
It's
he now
cute.
speaks whatever language they speak up
Yeah.
there. I couldn't believe that they brought that again. Too many characters.
There's so many
I don't
people
think
in
they
this
needed
movie.
to bring that guy back and then have him a part of the mission for the rest of the movie.
I like that he was in that scene, and then when he just kept going, I was like, he needs to get left behind. They
Yeah.
were just like, first I was like, oh, he doesn't die.
Yeah.
Oh, he's still here.
Yeah.
Oh, he's still here. Oh, he's still
He's
here.
still-
Like it just-
and his wife too.
and his wife is just like, she's like, look, if you taking my husband, I'm going too. So
So yeah, I love the heist for this. We'll get to the big stunt. The heist for this is like, okay, Ethan, once he has the location of the sub, he has to dive all the way down to get the sub in the frozen water.
And like frozen at 500 feet, right?
Yes. Go down there, plug in the key, grab the thing, leave, go all the way to the top, get the bends.
Yes. That's they all are like, this is going to be painful.
Luckily, he has an experimental suit that'll prevent it a little bit.
Yes.
So, because normally you would just die.
Yeah, so this like prevents the death part of
Yeah.
it. It just still really hurts.
Yeah. And he will have a beacon on him. And his team needs to be in the area to see where that beacon is, find him, chainsaw him out of the ice, and throw him into a mobile decompression chamber.
Yes, I don't think I know what that means. I was trying to figure it out the whole
Well, they
movie.
spell it. I love how they spell it. Well, the girl's just like, all right, so our plan means we all have to be at the exact same location at the exact same time with like a moment's notice.
Yes. And like, cool. I guess we'll get to it later. When I was like excited to see how do they use this decompression chamber because I couldn't conceptualize it.
Yeah.
And then when we watched them use it, it just caused more questions for me. I was like, how is this working?
But yeah, the sub part's cool. It does go on a little too long, I feel like.
It was, okay, this is where I start feeling like there's no way he didn't call up James Cameron, right? Like he had to have called him up and because there, like so much of it felt very Titanic, right? With like the water, like he gets into the sub and like so parts of the sub are inside don't have waters and then like water's coming
Because the sub
in.
is rolling this whole, because when he opens it, he releases water in, so it's
Yes.
throwing it off and rolling. Here's one issue. So like it does feel a little long, but then he'll like see the dead body, and I think for this movie, they assumed that maybe people skipped the previous one, so
I think they did.
they are showing so much of the previous movie, and like, oh, we have to show a clip of all the sailors and whatnot dying, and I'm like,
Yes.
we could have pieced it together.
We could have figured it out.
We know.
Assumed.
You showed a little bit of it, and like we didn't need when he saw a body, you didn't need us to show us a
That
clip of them
person
all
dying.
dying. But I think they were like, box office wasn't great for the last one, so people are coming to see this because it's the last one. We have to like let them know, like
Same
these
with-
guys all died previously.
Like the torpedo room, like they he gets into the room where all the torpedoes had like fallen off the shelves.
Yeah.
And then they like do a flashback of all the torpedoes falling off the shelves. And it's like,
That-
well, I assume that happened when it sunk.
Yeah, I mean that's something you do like if your sequel comes out like a decade later.
Right.
Like if you're doing like a really late sequel and you want to like remind people what happened in the other one. That's also why I think that montage is in the beginning.
Yes, at least the montage was that makes sense because it was like it went all the way back to the very
Yeah.
first movie.
Yeah.
And also had more plot points. Like for the sub, it doesn't like none of that was plot related. It's
Yeah.
like this sub got torpedoed and is underwater. You can just assume that's why it looks the way it looks. You
Yeah.
don't have to watch it get sunk.
Yeah. Yeah, unless they just wanted to pad out the time also. So they'll both be 2.5 hours.
But like I do there are definitely moments of like they did that rig, right? It felt like they did the rig where
No,
they
no,
have,
like,
the
all that
cute-
stuff
like,
is good.
Everything's like rolling around.
I just think you still could have had those cool moments and just trimmed down a little bit of him
Yeah, I
just
mean,
scubaing around.
I
You could have got him
agree.
into that room a little quicker. It is tense when he like has to leave out of the torpedo tube
Yes.
and he like can't fit all his stuff, so he has to take his backpack off and slide it out.
But like
And
the
then-
onof the take the backpack off is to strip. He's like in his underwear.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of this.
Before
movie.
this, he's doing like a stress test, and one of the guys on the sub has been brainwashed by the entity, which he
Yeah.
makes fun of. He's like, "You spent too much time on the internet,"
Love.
and he has a whole fight scene in his underwear. I guess he's just like, "It's the last one. I gotta show
Right?
I'm still in shape."
Yeah, there's like a lot of like shirtless Tom Cruise in this movie. It was really bringing like and we see them like he's on to like before he gets to the sub, he has to get onto like the boat.
Oh yeah, he has to like jump out of the helicopter into the boat.
And so this was like very much giving me like Top Gun,
Oh,
which I
yeah.
just watched recently.
At one point, he's
so-
wearing like a hat, the George W. Bush like boat, and he looks like
Yes,
Maverick for like a
yes,
second.
No, and it was just like and then all of Top Gun, the first one is just him in like underwear the whole time anyway. So I was like, wow, this is like.
I like both Top Gun movies.
I haven't seen the second one because I needed to watch the first one first. So
Honestly, you probably didn't even need to.
Probably
I
not,
mean,
but-
honestly, with that one, you just have to know that Val Kilmer was in it, and
Yeah.
that he did like a mission. They
He
fill you
was
in.
so like, I guess that's one of Val Kilmer's first movies, right? Because he was like
it's like an early one.
really underutilized in that. I
Yeah.
wanted more of him.
He wins Top Gun.
I
He's
know.
technically the guy who wins.
He is the titular Top Gun.
Yeah. Oh, if you're wondering what happens to Kelly McGinnis's character in Top Gun Maverick,
Yeah.
never bring it up. They never bring her up. That woman that he loved, they don't even mention. I want to, like, can we just, maybe she's like a senator or something? I'm sorry she didn't age as well as Tom Cruise, so you're not going to bring her back as the love interest, but could you at least
Rude.
mention that her character
Right?
went and did something? Did you like the scene in Top Gun, which was clearly a reshoot, so they put a hat on her, but it was still obvious that her hair completely changed? In the elevator.
Oh my
her
God,
hair is like
yes.
different, and they threw a hat on her. I'm like, oh, that's
just like-
noticeable. That's rough.
Oh my God.
Still great movie. Both of them are good.
Okay.
Both of them are good. I had the same problem with the fucking Blade Runner people, like 2024.
2049.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm just like, no, that one was mediocre at best.
No,
Fuck
it
you.
just was. I felt like it totally lacked all of like the feeling of the first one. Like it didn't. Like you could tell these are two different directors. These are two.
Yep.
Like it just was like.
And I like the director of the second one. I just didn't like his.
No,
I didn't
it
like his
just-
Blade Runner. His
no.
Dunes are good. His Blade Runners aren't good.
It just felt like it was.
Fun fact, people like this. Dating update. So on Tinder, I matched with a bot. And I knew it was a bot because the first message is, send me your Snapchat. I'm like, all right, well, this is clearly a bot.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing now, and I guess other people have done this,
Ooh.
and the AI, the evil AI,
The entity.
has caught on. The first thing I sent, I copy and pasted the tortoise question from the Voight contest from Blade Runner.
Oh yes.
I'm like, you're in it, so you you put a tortoise on its back, and then you're not helping, and then like, and I'm like, that'll be funny. What'll be the AI reply to what I just said? And then they unfollowed me. And I'm like, oh, the AI caught on.
The
The AI caught on.
assaulted.
They're like, too many assholes have done this Blade Runner gimmick.
Yep.
Leave it. But it turns out that test works.
Look at that.
So yeah, he has to
Hunt is
leave the
in-
sub like naked
Naked.
in the freezing cold, and then get thrown in that decompression
Also,
chamber.
how does that like? I guess the suit that he was wearing that helps with.
Hypothermia and whatnot.
Yeah, but like also like getting the bends.
Yes.
Is it just from the oxygen he was breathing? Right.
Yeah.
They said okay, so he could
Yeah.
still like get to the top without.
Yeah.
I thought there was something in the like suit that was preventing his bones from exploding, but it was just like the
Yeah.
medicine.
I think yeah. He's not. I don't think he's at like crush depth, right?
Okay, I don't think so because
He's like 500 feet. I don't know. I'm
I
not.
don't know how.
Captain Boomies isn't here. I don't know. Although she does boats on top of the water. I don't know if she knows anything
That's
about
not the
subs.
same. I think those are a little different.
Whatever, it's in the water. Who cares? But yeah, he gets saved by Hallie Atwell. And then I regretted not seeing this in IMAX. I didn't think we were going to get extreme close-ups of Hallie Atwell cleavage. And I'm like,
She was like, I really need to save you.
you know what? Screw you. She was. They like cover her up so much in these movies, and then we just got that one scene. I'm like, what the
She's
hell?
got like just a tank top and she's leaned over on him and she's going like giving the CPR. It is like close up.
Angela, I don't think I'm ever going to wake up to a Haley Atwell giving me CPR. I just don't think it's not going to, much like Rebecca Ferguson soaking wet being on top of me. I just don't think these are things that are going to happen to me.
I'm sorry.
I'll probably match with another bot. Maybe it'll be Haley Atwell's picture. No, that's what the bots used to be real obvious.
Yeah.
It'd be a super pixelated picture of an Asian
Oh,
woman.
yeah.
I'm like, that's been like saved over and over again, or it'd be like a Russian model picture, and you're like, that's clearly.
Well, now
And
they're all,
then they
like,
started.
AI
Now they
pictures,
just started
right?
using pictures of like normal looking people, and I'm like, oh, you sons of bitches! You sons of bitches! I know what my league is. I know I can't get Russian supermodel. Those were, it felt like the Terminator in the first one. He's like, the first models wore rubber skin. They were easy to detect, but then they got better. That's it. I'm the Kyle Reese of the dating world. I'm like, these bots, they're coming for it. They're coming for it. I keep asking them about turtles, and they keep outing them. Anyway, so he gets saved by her.
Yes.
So
this
part
is
of the
my
en-
confused
Okay,
part. Okay, is that she saves him, puts him in the decompression chamber.
Yeah.
Why does she go in it with him? Doesn't she get unpressurized? Does she get pressurized to be in there?
That I don't know.
Right?
I don't
like
know how it works.
does it decompress? Like she's at one pressure, he was at another because he was under the water, and then she gets in the pod with him to like kind of hook up with him while he's getting depressurized.
Again, it's been 2 months, and they haven't interacted with each other much. I'm like, where is this? Well, we know from part 2 he likes to move quickly.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, but you haven't really even done anything with her,
I
really.
also don't know why she was in the pod with him the whole time.
Yeah.
I just feel like that would mess up the decompression.
I'm not complaining about it, but I also was a little confused by that. Wait, so one of the entities plan. The entity's grand plan. Because it doesn't have all the nuclear arsenal.
Not yet.
But like, why would it want to blow up everything anyway? So it turns out in South Africa, there's a doomsday vault where all the most important information ever is stored in this super bunker that's immune to electromagnetic stuff. So if you launch a nuke, it'll be safe. It's solar powered. So basically it's like the most secure thing for it. So the entity can live there for like 1,000 years.
Yes.
And like, well, mankind rebuilds and whatnot, and can take over slowly, can manipulate people. So basically it wants to go there.
Yes.
It needs someone to upload it there because they can't get to it through the network.
Yeah.
Before it launches all the nukes. And again, it also has to wait until it can get America's nuclear arsenal.
Yes.
Because that's the biggest one. So basically the plan, I like when he tells him, it's like, wait, so your plan is that you are going to let it in? So they have to let the entity in, get the pill, the death pill from...
First they get the death pill.
First they have to get the death pill back from Gabriel.
Yes.
Well, part 1 was getting the source code in the box.
Yes.
He's got it. He's got to get the death pill back to confuse the entity.
Yes.
And then they have to hack the thing inside the server room and then capture the entity in like this weird glass thing.
Yeah, glowy glass
that
box.
Luther made. And they have to do it in a split second. So Grace has to do it because she does the sleight of hand stuff really quick.
Yes.
And Benji has to lead the team. So yeah, they all meet at the Doomsday Vault, and then Phelps and Kittredge come in and kind of fuck up their plan. And they left a bomb there. There's a big nuclear bomb there.
Yes.
Gabriel
Again.
has a lot of nuclear bombs.
Yeah, and they all, I don't know if this is how real nuclear bombs work, but they all this one, just like the one in the beginning, has 2 ways to work. It can either explode with nuclear material, right?
Yeah.
And like everyone's screwed. Or it can just explode a little bit and only a little person is screwed.
Like
so.
it'll detonate the explosive, but then the radiation won't like
Go
make it
every
big.
yeah. So
Yeah.
they can contain
They
it.
stop it from going to a nuclear bomb, but it's still going to explode. So
Right.
then guy from part 1, his wife, and new guy who was added to the team.
Yes.
The 3 characters you care the least about. Because
Yes.
I mean, I guess the guy was in the first movie, but he was a minor bit part. They have to defuse the bomb. Benji has to go in with the other ones and go with Blondie and Haley Atwell and walk.
Yes.
So he gets shot. So he has to tell one how to stop him from internal bleeding, and he has to tell the other one how to hack a machine. Meanwhile, Ethan
Yes.
has to chase Gabriel in a prop plane, and Gabriel brought 2 planes
He
just
does
in case.
mention it. He's like, I've covered all my bases by bringing 2 prop planes.
Yeah. And then that's when we get the big stunt is the prop plane, which when I saw Dead Reckoning Part 1, Tom Cruise did the thing where he's welcoming people back to the movies. He's like, thank you for being at the movies. And he was on the side of the plane. And Christopher McQuarrie's like, we got to do it again. He's like, all right, I'll see you later. And they did like the bat. They flipped it upside down. This scene was tense when he's just dangling on the plane.
Yes,
That
he's
was
just
awesome.
Constantly dangling, and the plane's going, woo.
Yeah. I love that he just killed that guy. He just unbuckled the guy and
See, that's
flips
what I
it
mean. Like, that guy died for, like, he was just probably someone who
No,
could
he was a
fly.
bad guy.
No,
He
could
was a
fly
bad
a
guy.
plane and needed some cash. I feel
No,
like.
he was the guy who was let go of the
Oh,
bomb.
was
at the
he the
start.
bomb?
No, he's,
Okay, good.
He's in on the Doomsday cult
Okay, I
stuff.
thought he was just like a pilot there to help out with this extra prop
No,
plane.
no,
Okay.
he was full on bad guy mode.
Cool, good.
So it's good that Ethan murdered him.
He did.
No, the plane is intense because they're like flying into each other and onto. Somehow Ethan ends up on that plane. I love the bad guy's death.
Oh my god.
So they're upside down. The plane is damaged, and he's like, "Hi, Ethan. I'm so smart. I have a parachute." Ha ha ha. And he lets go and he doesn't realize like the tail wing though is back there, so he gets his balls crushed. I love that he gets his balls crushed and then flips over and gets his head split.
Splits open, and it's like, well,
That is the funniest death a villain's gotten in
it
this
was
series.
hilarious.
And he was a real son of a bitch. So the fact that he got his
was.
balls crushed and
Yeah.
his head split open, I'm like, oh, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, then Ethan is falling and he's got to get this thing connected. And
But where does he get this parachute from? Like,
it was in the, I think it was in
was
the
it
plane.
in the plane?
He just, when that guy said you don't have a parachute, it's like, you don't have a parachute at this moment.
Right. I was like, you just made a whole big deal. Like,
Yeah.
Ethan doesn't have a parachute.
Well, he
and like,
probably
very
assumed
next shot
Ethan wouldn't
was,
get back into the plane because he was upside down.
I guess. I guess it was just hanging
He also
out in the
thought he
plane.
was not going to have his balls crushed and his head split open, Angela.
He
But, you
just
know,
didn't know that it's because the entity stopped
wasn't there.
talking to him.
The entity would have been like, no, you're going to get your balls crushed and your head's
was
going to
part
split
of the-
open.
yeah.
It's bad. It's bad news. But yeah, he's fallen. He saves the day. They all save the day. And I really thought he was going to die.
His like parachute burns up,
Yep.
and then his like second parachute's not releasing, and I was like, good. Not good, but you know, like
Yeah.
I wanted him to die. I'm like, I'm ready for us to close
Well,
this chapter. Let's
yeah.
kill like
So
Benji's
he's not-
dying. Like,
He's not dead.
no.
Everyone's alive. And Luther's message plays. Like, Ethan, I knew, because he said, I have a
Right.
message on this.
And
And it's like, I
Luther
knew you
was
would do
cute.
this. You would do the right thing. You were
You're
meant
gonna
to be here.
survive.
It's your destiny and all that. And I like that he goes, this message will self, and he
self-destruct.
kills the source code so the government
Yeah.
can't use it. And then they have the entity trapped in the bottle,
Yes.
which I assume they will destroy.
But see, that's the annoying. No, like that's it. In addition to like, not only does Ethan Hunt not die, but then they don't destroy the entity on screen. And right, like
Yeah, well, I think they wanted to give it to Ethan so he could do it.
no, but he doesn't destroy it, is what I mean. So I just feel like this is still they leave too many doors open
Yeah.
to have another movie.
Okay. I feel like to help with ticket sales, they really played up the whole fine. Jesus Christ. No, she's allergic to you. Go.
No, I'm not allowed to play with you. I'm sorry.
Go, Space Cat. She's allergic. You can't play with this one.
Run away.
Mint Salad's still here. Go play with Mint Salad. Anyway. She was on here the other day. Are you good?
Oh yes, yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
But thank
You're
you.
like, you have to like touch them.
Yeah,
right?
I have to like, yeah.
Okay, good. Because that happened with the other day. Manny Muskets was here, and I was like, she wanted attention. Like, Manny, can you pet her? And he's just like, no, I'm allergic. I'm like, oh God, Manny, she's been sitting where you're sitting. Oh, and he's like, no, I'm fine.
No, yeah, I just can't like pet her.
No, my mom's boyfriend in my last apartment, he sat on my couch before she even moved in.
Uh-huh.
Like I was still moving in, but my couch she had been on, and he just
Oh,
starts like
no.
sweating, and I'm like, so now I'm like nervous
Oh,
when
no,
like
no,
you
I'm
and
not
all
that
go,
bad. No, I just
and
can't touch the cat.
I'm just like, wait, I didn't vacuum. Anyway, so yeah, I think the marketing, they played up the final stuff and
Yeah.
structured the movie to feel like it was. They made
really did.
they made so many references to the old one. The guy kept the knife from the first movie.
Like they referenced the first movie so much in this one.
Which is weird because at this point it's so far removed from what's going on in any of this.
Yeah.
Bringing back Jim Phelps' son, stupid. That could have been
That
its
was-
own movie. Jim Phelps' son hunting him.
Yeah.
It's needlessly tacked on here just because they want to connect
like
to the first
an
movie because they
extra-
want you to
yeah.
think this is the last one. The stupid like bringing back the CIA guy and then he still has the knife, should have been evidence.
Yeah.
And then Tom Cruise is like, yes, the knife. I'm like, that wasn't Tom Cruise's knife. That was Jean Reno's knife that almost
Yes.
fucked up the entire plan.
Right, because it falls out.
And I
then,
remember
like,
in the trailer seeing the knife. I'm like, they show the knife and then him holding it. I'm like, that can't be the same knife. That's stupid. And then I literally in the theater was like, what are we doing? I don't
What?
care about that knife. And then, yeah, I really think they did this like in post. They played up the whole it being his last thing.
they did. I think so.
Because it doesn't, I mean, maybe Tom Cruise is done doing it, but like the character is still around.
I don't know. I mean, I don't see anyone else playing Ethan Hunt. I don't think like Tom
No,
Cruise
you would have to do
ever
you would have to do a
that.
new team. You would have to do a new team.
But like I was hoping that like we would, I don't know, it just feels like they didn't close it. Like they left it with like Luther's message was like, you need to keep going and you need to keep being an IMF agent. And he's
Not
like,
even
"Okie
like
dokie."
maybe like go back to what he was doing in 3 where he's just training.
Right? Like
Yeah.
I don't know. He just feels
I don't know. Did he calm the world? So a lot of people and this entity have been trying to nuke the world for like the last 10, 15 years for him.
Yeah.
So maybe now that that's calmed down, he's like, okay, I can go back to teaching. I think I stopped all the Illuminati's out there and
Right.
rogue AIs. I think I'm good. I think we can just go back to normal terrorists. I think we're good. Are there any viruses happening? No? Okay, we're good. We got it. But yeah, it's just
Like Benji lives. Everyone ends up being Luther's the only one who ends up
Luther's
dying.
the only one who dies, yeah.
Even like the
fucking
new
Kittredge
guy
lives.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then that new guy.
the-
Yeah, totally not needed that guy.
no.
I would have sacrificed CIA guy, his wife, and that guy for one Ilsa.
Right?
For one Ilsa or a Jeremy Renner.
Yes.
It'd be nice if Jeremy
I would've
Renner's like,
loved
you
him if he
need
came
me on
back.
this one, Ethan.
You're like, yes, I do. And of course, we get that that fake out handshake at the
Oh God, when Jim Phelps' son pulls out the gun and then puts it in his other hand and shakes
and then shakes. Like what?
Yeah, I don't like the fake out of it being there. And by the way, if it wasn't advertised as the end,
Yeah.
I think I would have been fine. The thing is, like, he's done 8 of these, so it is time for him to hang it up.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna make it seem like this is the end, just to leave it on, like, and then it'll just keep going. I like when like a character does get a happy ending. I'm not super nihilist where like that character needs to die at the end. And I know I sound like a hypocrite because I like Alien 3, but there's a time to do it and a time when you don't.
Yeah.
I like when the hero gets a happy ending. It's fine.
Yeah.
after
I think
doing
I
their
want
mission.
like I like in theory the idea is when like, oh, a character dies, like I don't have to worry about them coming back later. But I mean
There's
that
that.
doesn't always happen, as we know.
Yeah,
But,
there's that. But I mean, just like in the.
But yes, but I'm like, if he like really is like, I'm having a happy life, I'm hanging it up, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna come back.
It's nice
like,
to have
I'm
the
fine
hero
with
like
that too.
celebrate, like there was like and you can also kill them. That's fine too.
Right?
But some people feel like that should be the only ending. But yeah, for
No.
this, I'm like, no, he's too old to
But
keep
he
doing it,
didn't-
and really, you do need to kill the character off
'Cause he
because I
didn't,
really
like-
don't want to see him doing this in his 80s.
And he didn't retire. It didn't end with him like doing that. Like
Yeah.
that was it. Like, and they like someone comes to his door and they're like, "We need you," and he's like, "No."
We're like, your mission, should you choose to accept it? And he's like, I think that's where he just goes like, I think we're in good hands, and he looks at the new team.
Right. Like if we had one of those moments, I'd be okay. But it was like
Yeah.
he was like looking at his team in the crowd the way that they did in the other movies.
Yeah.
And it just kind of felt like I
Yeah.
could absolutely see him writing the next script right. Like as
I
soon
wonder
as he
how
got
I'll
off.
feel with this like on a rewatch now that I know how it ends. Will it be
Yeah.
as annoying as it is at this exact moment?
Right?
Where I'm
I
like,
don't know.
I'm like, this is annoying. I thought you were done. Will I get that Blu-ray set? And Angela, as someone who saw the last Indiana Jones movie, Tom, I know you got lucky. I know you got lucky and you were in great health and you looked great. You gotta hang it up, buddy. You don't want to be elderly Harrison Ford on a horse. You don't want it. You don't want it.
Or old Robert De Niro trying so hard to kick a guy and with his de-aged face. It just gets to be a point where you can't. You just
Michael
can tell.
Keaton in the thick rubber Batman suit in
Yeah,
his
like,
70s. It's
yeah.
like, oh, buddy, come on.
Only,
Or the worst offender, the Ghostbusters in the last 2 movies. It's
I
like
didn't even bother.
it looks like Bill Murray was like strapped to a pole so he
He's
could stand up.
So old.
And I'm like, yeah, this is terrible. This is so bad. But yes, that brings us to the end.
Yeah. Woo!
Angela,
Tony.
what is the best Mission Impossible by Christopher McQuarrie? Now that you've seen all 4.
So I really like the experience of actually watching this last one in the theater. So like I'm trying not to let that
Yeah.
sway me because it was way better in the theater than
Yeah.
like on a TV screen.
Yeah.
I think I liked the Henry Cavill one a lot.
Okay.
Or this one felt like even though it was like this pacing felt better to me than Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I would either say Final Reckoning
Or Fallout?
yeah,
I'm going Fallout.
yeah.
I'm going Fallout. It builds on the last one really, really well.
It does.
just works. The action's tense. The wife being there. He was firing on all cylinders with Fallout. Fallout, I thought, was really, really good. It's probably, and the entire series, it's, well, Okay, ignoring my ironic love for 2.
Yes.
It's probably the third best one for me. I mean, I think Ghost Protocol might still be like the best, and then
Yeah.
maybe the first one. They're neck and neck right there. But whatever one is 1 or 2, Fallout is like 3 for me.
I think if I saw it in theaters, I would probably agree. I think
Yes.
it's just like that's what's like
Yeah.
edging it out.
I mean, you should watch them all again without me talking.
I mean, that would also help too.
But if you're watching, you shouldn't do that. You should go to Patreon and get our Mission Impossible album where we do commentary tracks for all the movies. But yeah, if I had to rank them out of the 4, these just 4, it's definitely like Fallout, Rogue Nation, Final Reckoning, and then Dead Reckoning Part 1. Dead Reckoning Part 1 is probably the weakest of his.
Yeah, that's my.
But
list.
again, that's there's some COVID shenanigans in there, and then
Yeah, but I just feel like pacing was not a COVID shenanigan. Like I totally am overlooking all like.
unless
the
they
green screen
remember a
stuff.
lot of these movies had to do rewrites, so
That's true. That is
maybe they
fair.
did add in extra characters because of other actors' schedules and shit.
yeah.
So, but Final Reckoning, it just feels like they added a little
There's
too
just a
much
lot
at the
of
end.
people in this one.
Yes, I mean it wasn't as egregious as other finales. Like, Jesus, sorry, Space Cat, we're almost done. Like, the Rise of Skywalker, the last Star Wars. It's like 30 minutes to the end, and they were like, "Oh, it's time to give Finn a new girlfriend, so he's gonna meet a new lady stormtrooper like in the 3rd act."
That's not the time.
And now she's the
Not
main
the
character,
time.
and then also she's Lando's daughter, but we don't mention it in the movie. And now there's an awkward scene. When I saw that movie, it's awkward because I think Lando's like flirting with her,
Ew.
but like it's because it's his daughter. But the movie was so chopped up that none
Yeah.
of that is remaining. So it's just, I'm like, wow, the end of all 9 movies ends with an old guy creeping on a young girl. Anyway, so they add too many characters, but at least they're not doing shit like that. They're like,
Yes,
and by the way,
no,
this is
it's-
now a main character.
Yeah.
But yeah, Final Reckoning mostly works. It's good. It's good. Dead Reckoning, I just thought was it should have been a little neater.
Yeah.
You could have fit this in the one movie. I don't think it needed to be.
Absolutely.
Now that we know how it ended, I don't think it needed to be 2 movies.
No, not at all.
But yeah, other than that, you mean I have a good time with all of them.
They were fun. Me too.
They were good. And you get 3 with Rebecca Ferguson. And 2 with Vanessa Kirby. But yeah, I have a lot of fun with it. I really do want him to stop doing them. I want Mission Impossible to continue, but I want
Yes.
him to stop
He
doing
needs
them.
to like pass the baton.
And part of me is just like, oh, it'd be cool if Paramount brought it back as like a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Back to
but-
its roots.
Yeah, but I said that about Star Trek, and they didn't do a good job with the new Star Trek. So
No, you didn't like any of them, or
no, I tried Discovery, and I went no. I tried Lower Decks and went absolutely.
okay. The problem is you have to get through the first season.
Angela,
I know. I hate telling people that, but sometimes you do.
I can't do it. At this age, I can't do it. I can't invest time into stuff.
That's fair.
Because I get so burned out. I'm like, because then I get to the second season, I'm like, oh, I still hate it. Ah!
That's the problem. Is like Lower Decks, like each season gets better, and the last season's the best, and then they canceled it, and you're like,
they said the same
oh.
thing about Picard. Like Picard started off terrible,
Yeah.
and apparently the 3rd season is like what everyone wanted, with like all of them together doing something. But I've given up on it, so I don't know.
fair.
Maybe they can make Mission Impossible work as a TV show. I think it'd be fine as a show.
Yeah.
You just do a different team. You don't have Ethan Hunt there.
No, and again, I mean, that was like the whole thing was like he got a different like
No.
he always had like guest people on his team
Yeah.
every episode.
That
you
would
know?
be
Like,
fun. You could get big celebrities on like each
Right.
episode. Like, oh, for this mission, we need
international superstar.
we need I'm just looking around here. Oh god. I have no idea. We need Christian Bale on
you
this
go.
one. Hello, Christian Bale, whose name will be something else in the movie
Yes.
or the show. Yeah, that would be fun. That would be a lot of
Right.
fun to do. But yeah, that is all I got here. Fallout is the best. We're calling it.
Yeah, I'll go with that. I'll
Fallout is
agree.
the best. What do you think? What do you think is the best Mission Impossible by Christopher McQuarrie? Let us know. Angela, where can we find you? if I want to fake a hospital room and trick a terrorist into thinking that a bunch of holy sites got nuked and then dramatically throw down the doors, where could I film that?
If you needed a studio, you could go to Angela Wolf Video Studios.
You should do that. I shot something there recently, but I can't say what it is at the time of this recording. Don't get your hopes up too much, but I shot something cool there.
But it's really cool.
It's really cool. But yeah, that's it from us. All right, like, share, subscribe. Goodbye.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.